Tukipenda hapa DJ alikuwa anaturoga roga na hii ngoma hata sijui inasema nini, labda baadaye kidogo atakuja tueleze ngoma ilikuwa inasema nini. We are streaming live on Facebook from Kilimanjaro Studios outside Washington DC, and we will shortly be going live on YouTube, so please call all your YouTube friends. Now please remember to subscribe to both our YouTube and Facebook pages at The One Mic Show, and we are also on Instagram and TikTok, so please remember to follow us. We are also taking in live calls tonight. 202-683-4570. Press *5 to speak. I will repeat that number again. It is 202-683-4570. Press *5 to speak. Hapa kuna watu hapa. Liz Roy anasema salimieni huyo DJ tafadhali. Sasa sijui kama hizi zile salamu za Gen Z ama sijui ni salamu aina gani. Liz, please type up and let us know, but I think it's because Liz was enjoying that music. Now later tonight we'll discuss the repercussions of the foreign aid freeze by President Trump. Some people are of the opinion that it's a good thing and that African countries should start becoming self-dependent, but on the other side there's millions who directly depend on these programs, and we'll be discussing about this and what the repercussions will be. Feel free to start dropping comments below and let us know what you think about this. Na bila kusahau, tunapokea mziki toka DJ wetu machachari, mleta habari DJ Moshfire, na tutadunda kule viwanjani na Mika Och akiwa amevalia jezi yake nambari 7 mgongoni akituletea habari za michezo. Moja kwa moja toka Kilimanjaro Studios, ni mimi mtangazaji na mwanahabari wako mpendwa Ali Badawi. Wengine wananiita mteule na kwetu mniite mjukuu wa Masai, because I'm Kenyan by blood, American by design, Masai by choice. Sichagui, sikagui, na sibagui. Karibuni.
Now, let's talk politics.
Now this hour, of course, we're going to be talking some U.S. politics. It's only been 2 weeks since Trump took office, but things have been happening thick and fast. In the most latest, he has blamed the plane crash that happened in DCA airport on diversity, equity, and inclusion. We're going to be having this conversation, plus, of course, the conversation about so many other things that have been happening. I think there's been AI wars, DeepSeek versus ChatGPT versus another one that's called, I don't know, Kwan, ama sijui Dequan, ama whatever its name is called. A lot of...
really, Dequan?
Yes, a lot of those. I don't even know what it's called. But yeah, all those things have been happening, and we are going to be talking about all of those tonight. And I'm your host and producer, Ali Badawi. It is Friday, the 31st of January, and we are streaming live from Kilimanjaro Studios outside Washington, D.C. Now, please remember to follow The One Mic Show on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and we're now on TikTok. And on panel with me tonight is Mr. One Mic Kamakawa. Sports anchor Mika Och will be joining us later on, and our resident DJ Omosh Fire has been on the decks, akiroga roga watu. And also not forgetting that our super producer is none other than Mubelwa wa Bandio. And I just want to take time to give a shout out to a couple of people already tuned in. Washeke karibu sana, Steven JJ. Texas always representing from Dallas to San Antonio. We appreciate that so much. And feel free to type where you're tuned in from. Texas always representing the building. We appreciate that. And then hapa Steven JJ anasema tuko ndani. Yakobo Sima anasema la siku mingi Saidi.
Huyo ni walipotea ni kama DI.
Yes, ni kama DI. Yeah. Amerudi sasa.
Amerudi.
Haya, tueleze Yakobo Simba, how is DI affecting you and your people or wherever you are? And of course, Liz means Steve Royer was saying salimieni huyo DJ tafadhali. DJ amesalimika. Na hapa Kenya Doyo all the way from Texas too anasema DJ amejibamba mbaya. Okay, Yakobo pia anasema modernize ati TikTok. Where? Okay.
Anguka nayo. Sema ikutoke. Sema ikutoke.
Sema ikutoke. Ongea tu Yakobo. It's been a lot of imekuwa siku nyingi, kwa hivyo just let us know. But another great Friday. Karibuni sana. I'm gonna start na watu wako studio hapa. Mike, tuanze na wewe labda. Wiki yako. How has your week been? Ama maybe acha tuanze na DJ Moshfire kwanza before we come to
bado ile temperature na pressure ya ku-entertain watu bado iko.
Yeah. Okay.
Hit them up.
Kwanza ongea juu hizo ngoma before even about your week, cause kuna ngoma hapo ulicheza ambazo kuna mimi sijasikia, and I'm sure pia kuna watu hapo hawajasikia. But hapa kuna Liz alikuwa amebambika sana na hizo ngoma, amesema usalimie DJ. Na hata pia Kinyadoyo pia amebambika sana na hiyo ngoma.
Hiyo ngoma ya last, hiyo ya ilikuwa something
ulisema Femi One sijui nini,
ilikuwa Diana Chords na Femi One. So Diana Chords, for those who may not know, ni ule wa Set It.
Ile ilienda viral,
Yes. So huyo ndio Diana Chords. And then of course Femi One with King Kaka. And no, with Major.
With Major,
Utaezana. Kweli, and she's done other things. Yeah, but that's urban tone. That's sahi, hiyo ndio
inashikilia sasa.
Inaenda, you dance to those things, you unakata mtu shingo,
mapangale, unachinja mtu kwenye dance floor. Bwana. Alafu kulikuwa na ngoma ingine nimesikia hapo, ilikuwa sijui ilikuwa ana sound kama Charisma BN. Ilikuwa ni ngoma ya nani?
Hiyo ngoma inaitwa Nairobi. Na ilitoka juzi. It's Mario, ule Mario, I think the Mario
TZ
and BN. Yes. So BN is one who was sounding like Charisma.
Yes.
Those two guys. Yes.
Yani it's so amazing that I would actually confuse the two.
Yeah, you are confused.
Yeah, totally confused. Nilikuwa nimesema ni ngoma ya Charisma.
Hapana. Hiyo ni ngoma ya Mario, BN anamsaidia. Yes. Featuring. So inaitwa Nairobi. Yes.
Sawa. Na hapa Yakobo anauliza, mna hakika wanamsalimia juu ya ngoma? Salamu inaweza kuwa ni za Valentines. Sawa.
But huyo ameanza kupanda mbegu
This guy is no, maybe Yakobo has missed airing out his feelings.
Yes.
Vitu zinamtoka. Yes.
We appreciate that, Yakobo, karibu sana.
Kwa hivyo aongezi mtoke.
Yes, zilikuwa kwa chest. I think zake zilikuwa kwa chest. Sasa he's breathing them out. Yes.
Okay. How was your week, DJ Moshfire?
It's been an interesting week. I think that plane crash hit me another place where things should not be hit. But because we travel a lot, you don't realize how much you travel, and especially hiyo kitu ilikuwa, and we'll talk about it later. But that to me, yani inikai iliua the week. You know, you when things like this happen, you sit and you wait and you're like, hey, nataka tu at least kamutu moja, kambili, katatu, kaine, katano watoke, but based upon ile mathematics, it was not mathing. It just was not mathing. That the frigid temperatures, the way we saw that thing, yani it was
and it's you know, like, it's very close to home because you and I, that's the airport we landed in just barely a week ago. You landed within a week. With me within the last 3 weeks. Within the last 3 weeks.
Airport. I left from that airport and I landed again at that airport in a similar plane.
Yes.
Hizo ma 70-seater, sijui, in fact, saa zingine hata the ones of 2 on one side, 2 on the other side.
Yes.
It's operated
by
the
smaller aircraft.
It's operated by a smaller, I think,
was it Republic? Yeah, I think it's Republic.
It was Republic, which basically is an
affiliate to
Delta. Yes. And so in this case, this one was an affiliate of American Airlines. But that one hit home. And then it happened at ile prime hour.
Yes.
You know, it's not at ile ati ulienda kulala ukamka. It happened prime hour.
It was 9 something. It was
actually
prime time.
The thing happened 8.
Or it was 8
something.
Yeah, that thing.
Because 9 is when I was getting wind of it.
It was like 8:40. The flight was scheduled to land at 8:40. So remember, this was as it was landing. So by the time, you know, these guys get themselves together, so you're right, maybe, you know, on air that, hey, breaking news, nini, because sometimes that don't know, maybe it was a joke, maybe it's nini, and people scramble. So by 9, it was everywhere. And that just pretty much killed the week. But we had good weather.
Yes, the weather started warming up a bit.
And all the ice went away. In fact, Leo
it rained.
Ice.
So everything
that ice
has melted.
has been here, Ali, by the way, for the last 3 weeks. Well,
I know.
I landed, the ice has been here.
Okay, I landed to ice on the ground.
Yes.
When I landed JFK, New York, and of course landing back at DCA. Correct. Out in the DMV. And hapo Asheke natukumbusha, I just heard There was another crash in Philly less than an hour ago. I mean, this is something that we've also just gotten wind of.
In Philadelphia.
In Philadelphia, yes. Yeah, just an hour ago, a plane that was taking off. So more sad news. And hopefully, the people who are there survived. I mean, of course, we know these plane crashes. Sometimes chances of survival are very minimal, but you can always live with hope, because, of course, we're dealing with this one in DC, which we're going to talk about shortly, especially about the response of President Trump. But first, wacha tuende kwa Udo Mike. Just salimia wageni and tell us, how was your week?
My week was sour. Can't complain. Let us just say that these EOs have really put a monkey wrench. It's a matter of processing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a matter of trying to, figure out what's going on. Very many camps. Kuna watu wa FAFO. And for those who don't know what FAFO means, F around and find out.
Yeah.
So kuna wale that are finding out the hard way.
So Ebu, tell us, what is EO?
Executive orders.
Okay, Washeke just asked.
Oh, Washeke was asking?
Yeah, she was asking.
Oh, sorry.
She had that blank look on her face.
Oh, yeah. We can see that, actually. Washeke, sorry. Executive orders. So they have been...
Amri ya rais.
What Ali said.
Yes.
And in Kikuyu, how.
How.
So... Dukaraidhi.
Yeah.
By the way. Wachia locals. Wani foreigner huko.
Hey, that thing jazzed me.
Uni foreigner huko.
Dukaraidhi. Yeah, that thing really jazzed me. Dukaraidhi.
Get it right.
What is so difficult saying Duka bei nafuu?
Excuse me. Please, we'll find that in Coast. In Muranga...
Dukaraidhi. Make it easy.
Dukaraidhi.
Yeah, make it simple.
Make it simple.
Yeah.
So and what was he doing in Muranga again?
Good question. He's a foreigner who trying to tell them what to do. Just like youthful people trying to. Anyway, so these EOs are coming down fast. There's very many speculations, and I'm sure we're going to touch on that as we proceed. But you know what? Project 2025 is alive and well. And especially when it comes to and pertinent to immigration, and immigration affects all of us who came here as students, or however you immigrated here. You are not born here. Forget our children. So it's going to be interesting. And I was telling some people, remember, this guy fought to have whatever decisions are made during the presidency, they are protected. Cannot be prosecuted for those decisions.
Yes.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
He could even say mtu aende pale kule mahindi.
Naweza sema firing squad moja msimame.
I won't.
Msimame huko na mufieko.
So we are yet to see.
Nakasema niyo ni security.
Yeah. So we are yet to see, like, things are not taking shape. This is just the beginning.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of, because what he's doing, he's just using what is within the law and has been provided to him by the law.
Now, I have, one of those random predictions. I don't like making predictions, but there's just something that I am foreseeing, because 4 years is a very long time. It's only 2 weeks, but if someone was absent for those 2 weeks and just walk up to all these things being done, they might say these things, it has taken 1 year to do all these things. I have this weird prediction that I've been thinking about, that this presidency is not going to last. Yes, it's not going to last to, when is it supposed to end? 2028? I don't think it's going to get there. And the reason I say this is because the way, I'm not even concerned about the torrent of executive orders being issued. I'm more concerned about how people are being forced, career civil servants are being forced to resign. And that is very problematic. typically it would just be the head of a department or the director of something, but now it's just regular civil servants, like people they're being offered the option to resign and get get benefits. I see a problem brewing here, because I think going by Project 2025, and at this point we just have to believe what they tell us, because a lot of times our wanna support Trump, they will come and say, oh, he was just saying that, he did not mean it. No, at this point we have to believe everything he tells us. And in fact, they even went a step ahead and wrote it down for us on Project 2025 in detail. So I think when you try to take apart the civil service like he's doing, I don't think we're going to go far, because one of the things that keeps America stable is a stable civil service. The politicians change, the political appointees change, but now when you're going to the core of the civil service,
the boots on the ground are the ones who are career.
Yes, the boots on the ground. You're forcing, people in the Treasury Department to resign. You're forcing people in different FBI in very critical government agencies to go out. I think at a certain point, it's gonna start crippling government services. One of the reasons why a lot of Americans will tell you we're not going to see a difference, regardless of who's president, there's because of this, the stable civil service we have.
The worker bees
yes,
remain the same.
Yes, so we come from places, by places I mean Kenya, where we don't have a stable civil service, whereby civil service shifts with whoever goes into power. And we've seen what kind of instability that brings, and how we are always, whenever there's a new administration, it's like we're starting afresh.
You're scrambling. You're basically doing things from scratch.
Yes. So I think America has never experienced that, and they don't know the effect of having an unstable civil service. And that's the reason why I feel at a certain point, this presidency may not last. We may be talking about a President J.D. Vance, and this is just my feeling. It will either be through. He can never resign.
What would it be? A vote of no confidence?
It could either be through impeachment.
Won't happen.
Believe it or not,
won't happen.
But if they couldn't impeach him all this time, now they are going to impeach him.
Or it could be natural causes. Because remember, at his age, I read somewhere, he has a 1 in 3 chance of lasting the next 4 years. This is just now biology. This is not me wishing death upon anyone or anything. It's just biology. But unaona, the reason why I say this, I'm already starting to see signs. You saw, I can't remember, it was the Secretary of Defense confirmation. That guy who was, I can't remember his name. He has a very difficult name. The guy who was a commentator on Fox News.
Yes.
He passed, J.D. Vance had to go and cast the tie-breaking vote.
Yes.
Because there were 3 breakaways from the Republican Party. So it was Susan Collins expected, and then the second one, I can't remember the second one, and then the third one was McConnell. Unexpected. But now, to me, that's a sign. That's a sign. First of all, in these confirmations, especially the ones that happened yesterday, they didn't get much media coverage because of the accident. Tulsi Gabbard and RFK, I think one of them will bite the dust.
RFK is not making it.
Yeah. One of them will bite the dust. And then there was Kash Patel.
Patel atadonjo.
Yeah.
Atakuwa
confirmed.
Atadonjo kwanza aliongea vizuri na akaweka kifua, and then he looks like he's defying this chap.
Okay.
On what was it, 1 or 2 things.
Okay. Then the two, Tulsi Gabbard and RFK. At least one of them.
RFK sioni
at least one of them will bite the dust.
I just don't see RFK.
And then you see how funny it is when people are speaking under oath. When they're talking in podcasts and they're talking, like in political rallies, they're so bold in making some of these statements. RFK was saying he's not an anti-vaxxer. He even said, like he's vaccinated his kids. Like total change of tone.
Yes.
Total change of tone.
And now remember, he was cleaning it up because see his nini came out. It was his cousin, right? His cousin.
No, the cousin.
His cousin came out.
JFK's daughter.
She came out and gave CV yake yote. She lined it up. Akasema those watois, my nieces and nephews, walipelekwa wakapigwa chanjo. Sijui nini hizo vitu zote. Nasema amefanya opposite. Jamani mtu amekuwa tuanga hizi nini madawa za kulevya since 1980 down. Sijui nini. So somebody asked, I think there was a meme or something there about like this chap has been injecting himself with heroin for the last, I don't know, 15 years.
Wow.
But there's an interview that he gave where he came out and said specifically that he has, when he was in college alikuwa anachapa hizo heroin.
Yeah.
That's why he was able to concentrate.
Alituanga for 15 years. He was not in college for 15 years.
Yeah.
But hata sahi ukimwona huyu jamaa ameisha bana.
No, like there's something, like not quite.
But you see, the problem is the thing is the reason I'm in disagreement with all of you is,
yes, sir,
especially with you, Ali, is
yes,
nothing. These guys are going to the Senate and Congress, no matter what. Wow, wanasikiza the populace, Wanjiko.
Yeah.
Wanjiko are lock, stock, and barrel behind this guy.
But you see, the American Wanjiku...
No matter what.
But you see, the American Wanjiku is not like the Kenyan Wanjiku. American Wanjiku can shift very fast. If things go bad, we have a midterm election in 2026. If that midterm election shifts, and the politicians are going to shift.
Okay, I disagree with you in this. We know for a fact.
Yeah.
Watu wa DJT wako. It doesn't matter what this guy has done. In fact, he got more this past election. In 2020, he had 74 million. This one he had 78.
No.
He had 80 some.
No. I think he got a higher percentage.
He got no. I'm talking about the numbers.
The numbers.
The raw numbers.
The raw numbers.
81 and I think that was 78.
It moved up.
But you see, with the,
that's what I'm saying.
It moved up. But
now,
with the Democrats, there were, I think, like 12.
It shook.
There are 12, 13 million people who just did not show up,
but
who voted in 2020.
But think about it from this perspective.
Yeah.
His numbers grew. Dems shrunk. That means that there's a constant that it doesn't matter what and whatever he says, whatever he utters. Even people like Akina Makurubi, who in 2016 were talking bad against him, Akina Christie, Akina this guy Pilot Fish, Graham, this guy of South Carolina.
Lindsey Graham.
Yeah. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Akina Nikki Haley.
No, they've all lined up.
They'll come out and attack him, but then they'll kiss the ring.
Yeah, they've all lined up, yeah.
I do not see any of that changing. I am looking at the Democrats like this, wondering, okay, let us see what your gameplay is. Because sasa wow, now they are the ones on the defense. They're not on the offense. They're the ones on the defense. What is your game plan?
So
what is your packaging?
Yeah.
How are you going to package? Like now, for example, what happened in Korea by DCA?
Yeah.
How are you going to effectively communicate? These guys are incompetent.
I don't think the Democrats are the ones who will destroy Trump. I think it's the Republicans. It's gonna be internal because we have a whole 4 years.
Kikulacho
kinguoni mwako. And I say this because when in America, when things stop working, people get antsy, and we're already seeing. I'm not trying to assign blame on this particular plane crash. I mean, the president, of course, assigned blame to Obama, to Biden, and to DEI. But then there were some firings that happened, like very early on.
Prior to.
Yeah. In the Federal Aviation
He
Authority.
can blame him all he wants.
Yeah.
He is the president.
Yes.
He was sworn in.
So
Usukani ni wake.
yeah. So I think
the buck stops there.
yes.
Yes.
So I think he's only 2 weeks in, but I think like some of those things that he had been doing, from the beginning, and I don't want to blame this on that, but whatever he's been doing, there will be more disorder, not only in aviation, but in so many other spaces, and people are gonna start.
And you can
seeing.
already tell
Yeah.
how they're defending their teen god by invoking what? DEI.
DEI. All right. A couple of comments here that are coming in while we're talking here. Washeke namwambia Omosh Ngoto coming your way. Akona and then Washeke anasema I think to Trump akona warm kwa brain. Hapa Bandiwa ananiambia sema kwamba watamuua. Anaanza kugusa pabaya. Medicare ina watu wengi wa mashinani. Yes. And these are the things that will self-destruct. And then hapa Washeke anasema the American Wanjiku is going to be a turncoat when they can't pay bills, buy groceries, etc.
I disagree with that. They've already started defending him.
And then Patrick hapa anasema American MAGA doesn't care what will happen in America as long as their man is in power.
And as long as they're as long as not them, others who they supposedly feel inferior are being nyanduliwa, are being nyanyaswad, they're okay with that.
Yeah, alafu hapa Bandio anatupatia numbers za Trump 2020 74 million and something.
Yes.
Trump 2024 77 million.
Yes.
So over 3 million new voters to
He
his
knew.
credit. Yeah.
Yes.
To his
But
credit.
for Dems, ilishuka.
Ilishuka by around 12 million.
Yes.
So Biden still had more votes.
81 million.
81 million.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
I had my numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so Biden still had more votes in 2020 because I think Kamala alipata 69 ama 70 hapo, something close to that. And then hapo Asheke anasema, and Dems, please don't let the alphabet and abortion being your calling card this time around. Focus on kitchen policies. I totally agree with Washeke. I think these things were a bit overplayed, and the Republicans
Messaging, my friend.
Republicans messaged and turned that against
a nonsense
against Democrats. So that's why we are where we are. Alafu hapa a war report. She's just marking her presence. Ameweka tu full stop. I don't know whether that's the end of the show or the start or just announcing her presence. Awar, tell us what you think.
Excuse me, it's Joanna or report.
Okay, all right, that one. And then Yakobo anasema hapo ndo sasa Dems ucheza ujinga. Kila saa ni kupigana na mambo za sexual identity and abortion and kusahau everything else. And then Awar says, meanwhile, Prince George's County Executive election in June. Early voting from March 4th. Oh, wow. I did not even know that. So Prince George's County, so it's kind of like a special election.
Yes, it
because
is.
also Brooks joined the Senate.
Yes, it's actually a special election.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
And
That's,
the candidates,
yeah,
Rashan Baker,
yeah,
who used to be the county executive.
yeah.
Then there's Aisha, what's her name? Is it Brave Boy?
Aisha Brave Boy, yeah.
Brave Boy.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's man.
Okay,
I
PG
forget.
County.
Yeah,
PG County.
there's she's a white lady. I forgot what her name is. But all three of them,
yeah.
I mean, kind of stand a chance. I give Brave Boy a chance. I'm biased.
Okay.
I give Brave Boy a chance.
Okay.
Because I'm a commissioner in her.
Okay.
But I give her.
Hold on.
Kwa hivyo you have an envelope.
Hold on.
You have a brown envelope.
Hold on.
I don't.
That's
have
what you're saying.
I don't
Yeah.
have
Umesikia hiyo? No,
Yeah.
umesikia hiyo?
Yeah.
He's a what?
He's a commissioner. That means, yeah.
For those who do not know, understand, or please define for us, explain to us how you are a commissioner.
So she has I guess I'd call it an African, or should I say an African / diaspora, not even African, it's a diaspora kind of like relations team.
Okay.
And they have commissioners for this particular team.
Okay.
And people vary from all over. They're pretty much watu wa all over. Kuna wase wa Honduras, kuna wase wa Ethiopia, kuna wase wa Nigeria, Cameroon, blah, blah, blah. So I'm a Kenyan rep.
So
within this.
unapokea bahasha.
Kuna bahasha.
Okay. Anyway, we will talk about that.
If there was a bahasha to pokea,
Yeah.
I would have pokea during Jack Johnson's time.
Okay. Okay.
Now, and we all know how that went.
Okay. All right. All right.
Si ule ndio alikamatwa na nini?
Kwa freezer. Kwa freezer.
Boss.
Lakini PG County is interesting.
Yeah, no, PG County ni kama
PG
Kenya.
County is very
No,
interesting.
ni kama Kenya.
Yeah.
Ni kama Kenya.
But
so
we'll,
unacheza tu vile unacheza.
Yeah.
But I've been seeing how the campaign is going, and they're putting in some good work. But they even with all of that said, it's not a shoe-in. She's not a walk-in. It's not going to be easy. But
They have to work hard.
They
have to pound the ground.
They have to pound the ground. The good thing for her is that she's currently the state's attorney.
Okay.
I mean the county attorney. Sorry, yeah.
Aya, sawa sawa.
Yeah,
Na hapa Bandio was also reminding us Biden 2020 81 million, Kamala 2024 75 million. So Kamala, the gap was actually much smaller than I thought, because I think I said 69,
but it
because
shook a
Apple,
lot.
that's when I stopped watching the results when ilikuwa ime stagnate up at 69.
But look at it from this. Over here, Kamala had 75 million, right?
Yeah.
Trump won with 77.
Yes, that's right. Yes, he did.
So
yeah.
there was a lot of people opted not to vote.
Yeah.
Let us just say that there are very many people who sat out.
Yeah, there are many people who sat out.
Yes.
Yeah. So and that's what gave Trump his victory. But anyway, hapa Awora anasema, don't forget all politics is local, don't sleep on it. And then Yakobo anasema, I think hapa there's personal conversations now happening. And then Yakobo anasema ni kama Kirinyaga, Kenya. These people, I think Yakobo meant Tharaka-Nithi. But
We don't know what he's trying to say.
yeah. But yeah, but anyway, yeah. So this will be, like an interesting year.
It's not even been a month.
It's not even been 2 weeks since he was sworn in.
Yes.
It's not been 2 weeks.
And we are entering, and we, as you've seen,
Yeah.
maybe you're moving into that, how there has been a stop in celebrating certain.
Yes. And actually, let's talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a stop. There's multiple events, or like celebratory months that typically the White House or the government celebrates that have been taken off. And one of them is Black History Month, which was to start tomorrow. In
Which
February,
is starting tomorrow.
Which is starting tomorrow. So there's Black History Month. I think there's also Native American heritage. There's a list that
I was surprised to see a Jewish holiday there that is also.
Yes.
That has,
yes,
I was like,
Jewish.
okay.
Yeah, there was also Jewish Heritage Month.
Yeah. Jewish Heritage Month.
Yeah.
Native Americans are like, ala, hata wao wana.
Yeah, I think hiyo alisahau, but this goes to show you these people, they don't care. They don't care, and whatever plans they have, they will push them.
Maybe we should push for a White History Month. Maybe we should push for a White History Month so that will even out.
Well,
I'm just suggesting.
Over to Pete Hegseth
Yeah.
and them.
Whatever it is,
And
they want to
and-
do on White History Month, because it's not like they have history, but fine.
And Charlie Kirk and them.
Let's
And Candice Owens and them.
again. I'm just saying maybe we should.
Maybe
push.
Candice Owens should be the person to push for White History Month.
yeah, I mean, so there's so many
it's
things.
That white guy from Nani's show, the comedian. What's this black?
Trevor
comedian?
Noah.
No. The guy who used to be on Comedy Central. The one who
Dave Chappelle.
yes. Remember, he used to do his hair.
He
He had a
used
skit.
to do. Yeah, he had a skit for a white
the,
guy.
The
yeah.
white guy.
Something Bixby, something like that.
Clayton Bigsby.
That one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You Dave Chappelle, it's kind of like
That guy is
he sees so far.
He's
genius.
ahead.
Yeah, he's way ahead of
the
his
game.
time.
Ahead of the
And
game.
like when I used to watch his comedy, I would just be like, haha, this is nice, funny stuff. I didn't realize that he was just talking about America. You know, because I think a lot of
It's experiences.
Yeah,
a lot of times what they do is experience.
I think a lot of Kenyans, especially, we had lived with a lot of naivety for a very long time.
Correct.
You know, like always trying to give the benefit of the doubt when we're told that there's racism.
And the race flag for us was never there until we came and we sat in it.
Yes.
But even sitting in it, we never
we still
realized.
didn't understand it.
No, because
you don't know that you don't, the inner history that's passed
No, you
on
don't.
and
because most of us came when we were adults.
Yeah.
18, 19, 20. So you
Yes.
have
didn't
no
come,
idea,
it
no
didn't come
clue.
from your parents.
No.
You
Yeah.
know, even if you were born here, they still are disconnect. But for them, they lived it, saw it, so they pick it up in 6.8 seconds. The same way that you and I can pick up a race-related relation, as opposed to say somebody who lives in Kenya, who it may take them a while. They might see it after 3 weeks.
They know it's normal.
No, they might see it after 3 weeks. And for us, we saw it within that second that it happened.
But remember, them they have grown up in a system where they don't know what it is. So
Correct.
them they just understand
Yeah.
it's just normal.
And,
Yeah.
and that's what happened
Yes.
to us. We came in, we were thrown into it, and then now you're Apple, you know, like the African Americans are like, boss, apa kuna ubaya. And you're like, what do you mean kuna ubaya? These
Why are you yelling?
These people talk to me.
Yeah.
I'm fine with them. We are cool. I mean, these are my pals. I mean, you know, we're in a
Like if-
study group together.
like
what are you
not-
talking about?
Not even that. When being told, "Oh my God, you speak good English," that passes you.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
passes you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you-
those,
You
those
don't
nuances,
understand
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, you speak.
Yeah.
You know your English. You
Yeah.
know whatever.
You're not asking, you're asking.
Yeah.
You know, like yeah.
Those nuances. But you know, the weird thing is that, especially with Kenyans, I don't know about other Africans, we were always very quick to pass judgment on African Americans based on what one or two people did. We would socialize, you know, like any bad actions. But when it came to white people were always quick to individualize it.
Yes.
You know, like when a white person does a bad thing, you're like, no, hii hapa si wazungu, ni huyu tu moja ndo mbaya.
It's conditioning.
Yeah,
It's conditioning.
So
It's
that
the
was,
worst-
and that
worst
used to happen.
conditioning.
That used to happen a
Worst
lot.
conditioning.
Yeah.
Even now, when we go back home and you see the way that the waiters treat the white folks, and then the way they treat us when we are
No,
sitting
that's
in
true.
the same restaurant,
yeah.
ordering, and you ordered before this guy's food would come before yours. He's, you know, it's like they're almost like literally trying to shine the guy's shoes, and yet he's wearing some dirty canvas, you know.
You know,
Ninis. It's just
I'd be curious as to the treatment of American citizens going to the Kenyan embassy to renew or get a passport. I would just be curious as to that thing
At America, repeat that. You'd be curious to American citizens
for Kenyan American citizens.
or Kenyan American citizens.
Yes, when they're going to either renew a passport or they're going to get a passport
Kenya.
In
Or-
Kenya,
or get
when they're going
services.
to or get services,
Ah,
and you're going
okay.
to the U.S.
in
embassy
the US
in
embassy
Kenya
in Nairobi.
and their treatment.
Okay.
I'll be very curious, but you know, maybe
I
some other
think
time.
maybe Omosh has something to say about that. I think he's,
Those Foko Jembes,
Yeah.
those mofos, they
Yeah.
treat us like shit, and they will be hearing from me. Let me tell you, Minor. I mean, Ali and One Mike. You always hear about the treatment at the Kenya, the treatment of black folks, or should I say, the treatment of Kenyans at the American embassy. But you don't necessarily hear so much of Kenyan Americans and the treatment that they are getting over there. And
Yeah.
let me tell you, it is frustrating.
okay. Yeah.
It's very frustrating in different areas. The things that you have to go through from a security perspective that nobody preps you about ahead of time.
Yeah.
You would think that when you have an appointment that they tell you these things ahead of time. Nobody tells you about those things. And you find out the hard way. You can't go in with AirPods. You can't go in with CGE chargers, you know, electrical chargers for charging your phone.
So you
the
have to leave them
wires.
outside.
Anywhere,
Or in your car.
anywhere but. Yes. And where are you leaving your car? Because there's no parking around there. You tell me where there's parking. Where
So
are you
how-
going to park? At the UN?
So how do you get there? You get there by you get
Maybe
dropped
somebody
there?
drops you off.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody drops you off, or you take an Uber, or, you know, this somebody is going to drop you off, because
Yeah.
it's not like you can drive your vehicle into the embassy, right?
Yeah.
So there's basically no parking space for folks who are going there.
Okay.
Unajipanga.
Even for American citizens.
Nothing.
Okay.
When I say nothing, there's nothing. You
Okay.
come in, you go to the gate, your name is at the gate, and they check the name off. If the name is checked off, yes, then you tow ID, then that's check 1. Check 2, you're basically wanted. They check and see if the things you have and these items, if you do have them, then you have to leave them.
Yeah.
Now you can go through with your phone. That's about it. Anything else, you will not come in with.
Not even a
In-
wallet.
Okay, when I say anything else, I mean like anything that is electronic or seemingly electronic,
okay,
whether
okay.
whether it's headphones, whether it's wired headphones or AirPod like or Bluetooth headphones, or you have power banks, or you have anything to charge your phone,
Yeah.
whether it's the one you're plugging, the charger itself that you plug into the wall, you will
Okay.
not go in with it.
Okay, good information to
any
know.
cables that connect, headphone cable, it doesn't matter. You're not going in with any of those things.
Good information to
Which
know.
means you have to leave them outside.
Yeah.
And remember, you are dropped already.
Yeah.
You're finding out after you have already entered, your name has been checked, then you get to the first checkpoint. Na mtu wako ashaenda.
Okay, na hakuna pali pa kuziweka.
Sasa hapo kuna kabizna.
Yeah.
Kuna msee waga hapo, msee wa GSU.
Yeah.
Because they are there, they are signed, right?
Yeah.
Sasa hao ndio wasee unawachotea na unampa. So utampa, and then as unarudi kuchukua,
Oh, you
unamchotea.
give them something small.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes. So
okay.
you can imagine how many people are going through there and they are in violation kama wewe.
Yeah.
Uko wengi, and most people carry power banks with them, or a charger, or you're gonna have the full wall charger or the wires for it, or you
Yeah.
have headphones. These are things that are not allowed. You can't pass. You can get in, but you cannot get past that gate checkpoint. So you have to take it back. Wherever you deposit it is on you.
Okay, all right. That's good information to know because I've never gone there as an American citizen. So it would be interesting.
I have
Yeah.
helped you.
Yeah.
That was checkpoint number
Yeah.
2. Because
Yeah,
number 1
yeah.
was to be
And
checked.
Stephen JJ says my cousin went through the same experience kama hiyo yako. Yani when I was reading hiyo experience yako, I was like, this is exactly what my kuzo was telling me. He also had to get an emergency American passport at the embassy in Nairobi. And then Jacobo says definitely, and there is a thing called racial identity formation also, so that's something else. But yeah, but Stephen JJ says the cousin also went through the same experience.
I think we need to do a show where Omosh
I
lists
can list
one
and
by
I can
one by
break
one.
it down,
Yeah.
and
I
I can
want-
even
I
give
want-
you
I want
names of
a
people
to-do
who
list.
are good, people who are bad, and those who are in between.
Yeah.
And those white folks who, yes, I said it, those white folks who work there treat black folks over there like crap. Then there's this term called local staff. Me, I had not heard of that term, but Ali, I'm sure you're very, I'm sure
Yes,
you're
local
very
stuff.
familiar
Yes,
with it.
I'm very familiar
That
with it.
term is so derogatory for me because I'll summarize it this way. I sent information in, documents, blah, 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 whatever it is. They have an email address that, Americans use, and you send that information in, and I got what's called an emergency appointment. And so I went in, and there was information that I had sent to them, which they never printed out. So the person who was talking to me didn't have the information and wanted me to then send them an email or with this information. I didn't have my phone on me at that point because you can't go in with your phone, by the way. In case they'll take your phone, but it'll be put somewhere. Akin to a skiff. Those who've worked in security areas know what I'm talking about. But basically, they put it aside and you get the kacheti, or like the way you would leave your bags or goods when
and
you
you
walk
get
into
a ticket number.
you
or
get a
something
ticket
like that.
number, yes.
Yeah.
So you can't. So you have no way of sending that email, which means you have to come out, go back to the security, send the email, leave the phone there, then come back in, or you will send it and come back again another day to now finish whatever it is that you had started. Blah 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 blah. But anyway, the bottom line of it was this particular person who was talking to me had not gone back to check to see if all of this information was there and assumed that I never gave them the information. Basically, they needed my itinerary before I could get an emergency passport. So like for people who lose their passport or something happens, maybe you are thugged or you are mugged or whatever happened with your passport, there's those you can go to the embassy and get an emergency travel document, with the, or should I say passport. It's actually an emergency passport that allows you to travel back,
travel to the US. Okay.
and then you can come back and apply, or if they would even allow you to apply for the full passport there, then they'll give you
An application.
They can give you a full passport. But I think because if it's lost or stolen, you have to pay for that, and the cost is high. It's $165
Oh wow.
for that thing, and it's only valid for pretty much 5 days or your journey back.
Wow. So I think even Kenya has a better process.
I don't know what Kenya's process
No,
is.
Kenya, if you lose your passport here, or if you don't have a passport, they can give you an emergency travel document. And here's an interesting thing. You don't even have to go to the embassy.
For the emergency document?
Oh, yes. You don't have, if you're looking for an emergency travel document, you don't even have to go to the embassy. They will ship it to you. They will ship it to you.
Interesting. I know a guy here who went with that document, but I won't say who.
Yeah, that's right. So I think, in as much as sometimes we have issues with our embassy here, and we'll try to get to talk to the ambassador this year. But I think on that part, I think we are a bit more lenient and a bit more efficient. So I think with Americans, they try, I don't know, maybe that's something sensitive. They're trying to make sure that whoever is going to America is someone that they...
But I think the problem here is how you treat your citizens.
Yeah.
You only find out your citizens are not always white, but you find it's a black guy, a Kenyan guy called Otieno.
But one area where at some point I even start feeling sorry for, especially white people, is because some of these racist attitudes are baked in.
Oh,
like they're
100.
They're not only baked in, but they're subconscious, meaning that it happens so naturally that they don't even realize. And that's the worst kind. Unajua fadhali ile whereby I'm a bigot and I'm gonna try to be an asshole.
True.
But then there's that where you just consider yourself a normal person, but these things are so baked in, they're so
it's like a
inbuilt
privilege
that it's like reflex action. You don't even realize that the way you
bias.
treated Jake and Karen is not the same way you treated Omosh, despite the fact that they're both U.S. citizens.
100.
It's an unconscious
bias, which is one of the things that comes out of DEI that has now been obliterated in these particular areas.
And the worst part about the most interesting thing about this DEI thing is that the greatest majority, the persons who have benefited the most, the ones who have ridden this wave, white women.
It's white women, yes. It's quite interesting. It's white women who are the biggest beneficiaries. I was seeing that list, and this is a list from the Department of Labor. Anyone can Google it if they think we're making this
Please,
up.
Google it.
Blacks on that list.
We are like Uko number 14.
They're uko chini.
Uko chini.
There are so many other groups, like Latinos, Asians, people with disabilities. There was also, I think, veterans. So many other people.
Veterans should not even be in that thing, but
yeah. So blacks. So these people, especially a lot of these Trump people, when they see DEI, they're thinking black people.
Yes,
they're thinking black people, but they don't know that this is disadvantaging them.
Just like those idiots who filed a case about that admissions in college. What's it called?
Affirmative action.
No. Was it affirmative action?
No, it was that lawsuit where they're saying they're discriminating Asian, Asian students? Yeah.
Ideally, it's because they were thinking blacks were getting preferential treatment.
Yeah.
Sisawa, it was career.
Yeah.
Then the numbers for blacks remained constant.
It remained constant.
For blacks.
Yeah.
For those Asians,
it fell.
It sunk.
Yeah.
Below blacks.
Mm-hmm. So you see.
You're like.
Yeah. This right here is very problematic.
And there are very many people who don't really know the history. So that is why I always diligently follow Roland Martin when it comes to talking about how many people, after the Civil Rights Act that was passed, very many of those programs boss, even as simple as having a ramp for a person on a wheelchair,
Yeah.
that is DEI.
That's DEI, yeah.
Having a ramp that you can, making a building accessible.
Accessible, yeah.
Okay?
Or having bathroom facilities where someone with a disability can use.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's DEI.
It's DEI.
But the way these white people, these white, the Republican guys have packaged it is to mean black.
Okay, hapa Patrick anasema from today black history ni trash. So blacks, Latinos and Asians who supported Trump thought DEI was a tool for protecting LGBTQ. In the eyes MAGA, the way they hate vags is the same way, I don't know vags hiyo sijui ni nini, is the same way they hate N-word. You are in the same trash bag basket. Okay, Patrick. And then Jacobo hapa anasema, so Mosh is saying to print all documents from your email and the airlines because the phone is left at check-in. Brown bahasha maneno.
Yes.
Yeah.
You carry that manila nini, that one of a siku zile ulikuwa umebeba school leaving certificate, ukabeba sijui. Yes.
Just a manila envelope.
Yes, and I would advise, if you have never done it before and it's something that you are not practicing, please make sure you take a picture of your passport page. You know, the one that has that has your biographic information, has your picture and all of that. Make sure you take a picture of it and have it on your phone.
Or have it somewhere, just in case you lose it.
And if you want, and if you can, again, because if you have it, let's say you've taken a picture of it and maybe you emailed it to yourself, that means that you can get to it from anywhere, quote unquote, assuming that there's internet access, right? And especially when you're traveling overseas, have a printout of it.
Oh, interesting.
Because if something were to happen and you lose your passport, your bag is stolen, or whatever the case may be, you then have something you can go to show, because you would still need to show these guys that you actually held a passport. Because how are you going to identify yourself? It's not like, okay, fine, you have your driver's license, but that still doesn't show that you're a citizen.
And sometimes you don't even have the DL.
They need a secondary form of ID.
Ooh.
Yes. And so because I already knew I was going to have these issues when I was going, I made sure I carried my work ID. And my work ID is issued by GAVA. So at least that helped me. Or if you have global travel, it has the global entry. The global entry card is a U.S. government issued ID.
So let me ask a question.
That will suffice as well.
What if you have nothing?
Again, you see, like now you've lost your stuff. You have to go get
you don't have a secondary ID.
You go get a police report. You say, I've lost my stuff, or my passport is gone, blah blah blah, nini. Then sasa now ndio unaanza kutafutana. So you're gonna come in with this report. They'll give you an emergency appointment for you to nini, because eventually you're gonna have to come back, right? And these things, whatever it is that you say, they are verifiable, at least on their end.
Okay.
But what I'm trying to say is that preempt. So basically, ujipanga. Yeah, you're right. In there's some cases when you just don't have it, but
having an email, like if you get copies of those, email yourself. Just have them on email.
Email it to yourself.
So that even if, let's say, for example,
or email a friend who maybe they're stateside, they can send those things to you. Or somebody. Make sure that they are somewhere else that is not on your physical person.
Is not on person.
Yes.
You know, I think in one podcast, one financial independence podcast I was listening to, there was someone who was talking about having an emergency folder that just has everything, copies of your IDs, copies of your passports, anything important. In case you lose it, you at least have copies in there. And I think, like that's...
It's just, it's a safeguard.
It's a safeguard,
like now, for example, how Mosh was saying, which is something that needs to be reevaluated, because if you're a US citizen, and you're going and you're being told, where's the form, give us a printout, you don't have your phone, so it's like you have to go back out. So it's like, okay, then what is the purpose? Because that treatment is usually that is usually also given to people who are going to interview for a visa. Right or wrong, Omosh?
So people are going to interview for a visa. We can say that, but they should be treated, be treated badly, but we can say they're not Americans.
That is true.
But my question is, is this treatment of like you have to go back, get a printout
Because
do,
it's
do,
black.
do Jake and
No,
Amber,
I don't think so.
Yes.
do they get the same treatment?
I don't think so.
Okay, I am assuming that they would get the same.
I don't think so.
I am assuming they would get the same treatment because when I was going back and forth with them on the email, so like I said, there's a particular email that Americans use to communicate with them, right? Whatever it is that you need from the embassy. One of the things that they will tell you, like now at the point in time where now you have an appointment, they'll tell you, make sure you come with, item A, B, C, D, F, G, or whatever it is that you need to come with. And if you need to print out stuff, they'll tell you there's a place next door by the embassy, basically, where you can go and you can print out your stuff, whatever it is. So basically, unajipanga, because maybe again you may not have access to a printer. Yeah, as guys,
and they won't give you an embassy printer.
Exactly.
See, you're American. That's reserved for Jake and Amber.
Thank you, Ali.
From what I saw,
Yeah.
even Jake and Amber, the Jakes and Ambers that I saw who were there, who were coming to pick their passports
and
or whatever,
and Heather.
they basically were being talked to and dealt with behind bulletproof glass. So it's not like you're dealing, like DMV, the way una interface.
Your direct interaction.
And by the way, the side that Americans go is not the same side that
that Kenyans go
that
for the
Kenyans,
visas.
no,
so there's no interaction.
No, there is no interaction. And then even at the point in time where you're doing this one-on-one, which they're calling an interview, you have to go into like another room. You go into another room, and then inside that room, there's now a bulletproof glass where now somebody's sitting behind a office. It's not even a cube because zile zingine any cubes. And then that particular person has your docs. Juu sasa imekuwa escalated, imetoka kwa acceptance, ule mtu ulianza nayo, then now unapigwa what they call an interview. And the so-called interview is check your stuff, corroborate, find out what's going on, and so on and so forth.
Boss, you don't know it was an interview. You just thought it was just...
me myself.
So you thought you just going...
Yeah, I thought
it was an interview.
It was an interview. I thought ni kama kwenda kuchukua...
Ni maswali gani uliulizwa?
Niliulizwa.
Zingine watu waambia tu maswali za ujinga uliulizwa.
Kwanza wewe uko na dready, like you fit the criteria
of what?
The criteria of someone
of Tyrone.
They should give, like
hard time.
Extra vetting.
Let me just say
extreme vetting.
Let me say that let me just say that there was vetting at that particular point.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that it was vetting until sasa now this person I think had let up kidogo once they realized okay, huyu amefanya hivi nini, then they let up kidogo and they let the cat out the bag and said, oh, by the way, we don't do interviews after midday. And at that time it was about 1:30 p.m. So, and they said, but today we were backed up.
Okay.
So I was like, huh? And then they're like, oh, and so you're not going to get your passport today. Which I was expecting to get it that day. And they were like, you're going to have to come back because with the emergency passport, it's only valid for so long. And it's based upon the validity is based upon your itinerary, meaning when you're coming back. So you basically collect it as close as possible
to your departure.
To your departure date. And as well, they would make it valid again to say your departure date. Maybe they'll give you a couple of days after.
Also, they'll give you a short window.
Yes, mine was valid actually for 9 days. And of those 9 days of validity, about 3 of them I didn't have it because I went in on a Tuesday and I picked it up on Friday. But they made it valid from that Tuesday when I did.
When you didn't pick it up.
When I did the application, but I guess they never made it. They never gave it to me because they were like, if you wait until after 4 p.m., we'll give it to you. Na saa hizo sijakula, nilikuja hapo asubuhi, nimesumbuliwa na security, nimeangaliwa na sijui nini, Heather ameniangalia na kauniuliza, if you knew you had passport issues, why did you, how are you expected to get back to the US? Hapo ndio niliulizwa.
No, but what kind of question is that?
That's a question that I was asked. I can't tell you what type of question it is. I can just tell you that's what I was asked.
Did you plan that you were gonna I'm aware your passport issue was different.
So my passport issue, and I'll reveal, my passport issue was that I had applied for my passport prior to going to Kenya.
Yeah.
And I had not received the passport back.
Okay.
At the point in time when I was leaving the country. So I traveled with my Kenyan passport.
Aha.
Now, I knew that once I get to Kenya, I have to go to the American embassy to get a passport to come back.
So your expectation was that you're going to get a renewed passport at the embassy. You're not expecting an emergency document.
My expectation was I would get either that emergency passport, or I would have been able to collect my passport that was in limbo at this point because I had not gotten it back.
But hadn't you applied for your passport here in the US?
Correct. You
so
can
how would
you
it
can
get
still
to there?
you can still collect it over
In
there.
a foreign embassy? Okay.
Yes, because they issue full passports.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can still get it.
No,
from
but
there.
I'm saying if it's already printed here, why would they print another
again,
one?
you see Sasa now happened to your pali. I knew at the point in time I was leaving it was not printed.
Okay.
Let's just say that they told me that they were not going to give me my passport until I did ABCDEFG.
Yeah.
And I did ABCDEFG. So by the time I was actually setting up my interview and going in for my interview, all those things had been done. But the agency had not cleared me.
So you traveled Kichwangumu with a Kenyan passport?
Yes. So my case is different. Yes, I traveled with a Kenyan passport. So it's not Kichwangumu, but I knew that I can get it, and I already had precedent. So kuna karisa nilikuwa nishafanya.
Okay.
Unaona? And the thing about it is this, that as an American, you do have the ability to be given a emergency document or travel document that allows you to come back into the US. And then if you then now have issues with your full passport, the real full-blown passport, you would then resolve them at that point with the passport agency, with the US passport agency. So don't ever think that you're stuck. You're not stuck.
Well,
but that's why I say, I went when nilikuwa nimejipanga. But that's why I said, make sure you have copies of certain documents.
Yeah.
And just make sure umejipanga hiyo documents.
Yeah.
Somebody has them, they can get to you somehow.
Okay. That's very good information. That's good to know. But
so in case you get robbed in Kenya, you know you have the ability to go to the embassy and get your papers to let you come back.
And when you're going to the embassy, please just make sure you just have your phone. Wachama na wire, na power bank, na headphones, na AirPods.
You can carry your manila envelope that has
your papers,
that has
the documents that you already have printed somewhere.
Because those are going to be either originals or they'll be printouts or whatever. Because again, remember, you're not going to be able to show them whatever you have in your phone inside the embassy,
because your phone is already in
right.
The skiff. Yes.
And again, as an American, you would have already probably emailed all of those things to them ahead of time, so they already have them in their mailbox.
So for all those
if they have them in their mailbox, why do they need to see a paper?
My friend, you're asking questions that only they can tell you. It's just like asking. It's just like DMV have your picture.
Yeah.
Don't you always go and take a picture?
No.
Yes.
I mean, but maybe the picture they have is for 5 years ago.
Again, it's there.
Yeah.
You just back yourself up. Unajua kuna policies watu wanaekaga. Do they make sense a lot of times? Probably not.
Yeah.
But you come in and you adjust. And that's why I say make sure you have those particular documents available somewhere. And when you're going to enter the embassy, print them out. So you have printouts of those things. And they'll tell you what things that they need. And if you don't have a secondary ID, then I would highly advise you to get the passport card. Then that way, you have that in a wallet, or you have it somewhere. Maybe you didn't carry it on you, and you had it somewhere, and let's say you lost your passport, you still have the passport card, which then has all the information that is relevant.
So you can apply for a passport card even if you have the book.
Yes.
You can still apply for a passport card.
Yes, because you ideally you do it at renewal, or if you don't, because of course you're going to pay extra, but you can have a passport card, which is a small size passport, quote unquote, you have in your wallet. But it doesn't allow you. I think it allows you. Maybe I think you can go with it to Canada and back. I think
Mexico, but it's not considered a passport. But it's still an ID.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've heard of guys who have applied for, when they're applying for like their children. There's that option to apply even for a
you
passport.
You can get a passport card.
Yakobo anasema Omosh was not prepared. He assumed a lot. Thanks for teaching us through your pain.
Yani this Yakobo guy, ebu give me his phone number because unajua saa zile nilikuwa natukanwa kule na wase wa security, mse wa KK anakufuria hivi.
So washeke anasema
sorry.
ni tabia za Wakenya that Major sings about. Then Yakobo anasema sasa ana blame microaggressions za Karen na yeye alifa arudi na KE passport. By the way, there is no way he would have come back to the US with a Kenyan passport.
I knew this.
Yeah.
So I don't know what Yakobo is talking about because remember, for me to come back with a Kenyan passport, that would mean that I then would get a visa to come back into the US.
Yeah.
And I'm getting a visa to
How
come
you
back
getting
into
a visa
the
as a
US,
US
and I'm a US
citizen?
citizen.
Yeah.
So that is not Yakobo.
Yeah, Steven JJ amemwambia hiyo huwezi toka nayo Kenya kurudi US.
You cannot.
Yakobo hapo ameanguka mtihani hapo.
Not in my situation. Now if I was a green card holder, yes. But I'm not. So that was obliterated.
But then if you're a green card holder,
I had my plan of action.
if you're a green card holder, you don't have a passport.
You do have
a Kenyan passport.
No, if you have a green card, you don't have an American passport. That's what I'm saying.
That's where now that's why I was saying that the Kenyan passport is then valid at that point.
Yes,
for
that's
you
right.
To
for you to travel,
and go back
yes.
and forth.
Yes,
right?
That's right. Yeah. And then another thing before we get to birthright citizenship, because that's one of the big topics we want to talk about tonight, there's also this issue of American citizens who, wameenda summer burning, and everything, and then bahati mbaya ama bahati mzuri wakapata mtoto. So now they have a child in Kenya who was born in Kenya, and one of the parents is an American citizen.
Correct.
Yeah. So is that thing straightforward? Do you just go with your child, hey, this is my child here, give him a passport because I am an American citizen? Is it that simple?
Zero chance.
No.
You have to register. You have to go in and you have to register the birth of an American in a foreign something. There's a name for that thing.
Yes.
I think is it called CDR? There's something for that.
So the birth of an American abroad.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to go and register your child. Now
we should ask Ted Cruz.
A lot of times
he was born abroad.
Yes.
A lot of times the process now is so frustrating that a lot of parents end up giving up. Now, what I would advise, do it as, in fact, if you can go register your child the next day after they are born, do it. Because there are some stipulations that they want this particular child to have. One of them being that, let's say, you as the parent needed to have lived abroad for 5 years or more than 5 years, lived in America, for more than 5 years. So let's say you happen to be an American citizen, umerudi.
You live in Kenya.
You live in Kenya.
Yeah.
You have a child in Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
You now want to register your child as an American, but you have not lived in America for 5 years.
Yeah.
Violation 1.
Well, what's a violation?
You need to have lived in America for 5 years.
But you're a citizen.
No, but you're a citizen.
My friend, sasa mimi nakwambia, si hizi ndio rules zao. Sasa unasema mimi ndio nimeweka.
No, because it doesn't make sense.
There are some things that even for me it didn't make sense. So according to them, they need for you to have been living in the US
for 5 years.
For 5 years, which means sasa wewe vile unaweza fanya utoke urudi. Ukae 5 years away from your toy, then now your toy can be registered and then unaweza come. But mtoto wako hatapewa visa ya kuingia, because visa ya kuingia ataingia kama nani? Anaingia kama tourist. Sindio? They're not a tourist for 5 years. And they are now and because they are eligible to be registered as a citizen, then they don't get a visitor visa. So it's a catch-22.
So what do they get if they want to come to the US?
You register them.
So
you register them basically.
Okay. But now you're saying the registration is complicated.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I'm saying all of this because I know real life action mtu ambaye ana go through this.
So to add on to
at
that,
birth,
peleka
tu hiyo kitu at birth.
Let me tell you. In addition to that, unasema huyu ni mtoto yako? Alizaliwa lini?
Oh, sorry.
Alizaliwa lini?
So you have to prove it's your child.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Alizaliwa lini?
I forgot that one.
Yeah.
Alizaliwa March
February 30th.
30th.
Yeah.
Okay. Please give us your itinerary when you were in Kenya.
To prove that you...
Oh, you're talking about the bunnies.
You inseminated.
Mbegu
that
ni yako.
particular, yeah.
Don't forget, probably, wataitisha DNA.
Oh, but yes, that's another.
Blood test.
So if wataitisha DNA, then
doesn't
why are they
matter. No,
asking
no,
this other
I got it.
question?
Either way,
No,
they're
either way.
still. See, these
They're
are just
checking-
these are the
or they're
check
checking
boxes.
boxes.
These are
Yeah,
check
yeah,
marks.
check
Yeah.
boxes. So,
Eh,
prove uni wako.
I forgot to say that DNA is one of the things that they're gonna do.
Because don't forget,
so
DNA now is mandatory.
that's for the father.
For green card.
DNA
That's
is
if the father.
mandatory.
So that's if the father is the citizen. But if it's
Even
the mother,
I don't know.
DNA.
see,
about
the mother is the one who was pregnant. So how can she not be the mother?
No,
She can be denied.
Anyway, again, you could have come with a birth certificate that umenini.
Oh, okay.
Pare River Road.
Sindio?
Yeah.
They have to show relation. How they're gonna
Yeah.
show relation?
Okay.
DNA
So-
ni lazima.
Yeah. So there has to be proof, because I know, like Kimi saying, I know of a situation where a guy told me, bro,
Yeah.
Ikitu, I had to provide dates when I was in Kenya.
God damn.
Had to provide dates. So
Yeah.
the dates, so the time when you're in Kenya, sawa, and then when the toy was born, it shows that it could have happened. It happened around the time you're in Kenya.
So now here's my question.
Yes.
Is this the same process that Jake and Heather go through?
That's a very good
If,
question.
if they get a child in Kenya?
Maybe we can ask Ted Cruz.
Yeah, because like, are these rules, like and
Across
this
the
now
board?
just speculate, are they across the board?
Again,
Or-
we can only assume.
Yeah.
So in one aspect, we may like, no, it is a requirement. However,
Yeah.
based on this guy's treatment
Yeah.
and the questions that he was being asked, which were interviews.
Yeah. So if you go and try to get, that certificate for birth abroad, immediately the baby is born. Does the process become easier, or at what point does this become complicated?
Sasa, now you see those things that I was telling you about. Where have you where you've been a resident? Where have you been residing? That kicks in.
That's a bad question.
yes,
I think we
and
need to.
and that's the part that I'm not understanding. That whole reside, and I'm gonna do some more research
Because there's no requirement.
I have yes, there should be no requirement.
There's
that
no
says
requirement as
that,
American
that as an
citizen,
American you have to live in
you
America.
have to no, it's
That's
not a
nonsense.
requirement. Yeah.
But I wonder if Ted Cruz went through that. But carry on.
Oh my God, this guy. But I'm bringing all of this up because I actually have a friend who is going through this now, and the child is he 8? I think the child is 8. Na alianza ilikuwa what 20, was it 2020 that alijaribu kufanya, so that's what 4
That's 5 years ago, man.
Yes.
That's about the
Yes,
child was
so-
about 3 or 4.
So what triggered this was she wanted to travel to come to the US. Went to the embassy to get a visitor visa, and she was told, oh, well, your child is eligible for registration as a
US citizen.
So hawezi pewa visitor visa. Well, you're going through things backwards. Huyu mtoto anafaa kupigwa registration.
Yeah.
Hapo ndio pali kurambo ndio kaanza. And then this whole thing of you have not resided for over 5 years in the US, sijui nini, and akambiwa you can register your child something like, I think, as an immigrant or something like that. And that process is another whole other complicated one. That particular process. But
Register your child as an immigrant.
Yes. But the whole point of what I'm trying to say here is that at some point it gets complicated. Even if you go and you get a lawyer, bado utaka hapa, and at some point nika utakuwa na separation na mtoto wako, and it can go up to 5 years. So you tell me who is separating from their child for 5 years, just so that you can register them. So at that point you say, wacha nikae, because sahi mtoto haezi pewa visitor visa, the parent is an American, so haezi pata through if the parent is, so it's not like I'm the one who's applying, and if I am applying, who is the child coming with, and what is my relation to the child?
So I think the lesson here is make sure your child is born in the US.
I would say that, or make sure you meet the residency requirements, which apparently seemingly are there. I'm going to do further research on this, because just because this particular case, for me, it's dumbfounding, and I don't understand where somebody is telling you that because you're an American, you have to live in America for X amount of time in order for your child born outside the US to be registered. I'm
gonna ask my friend, but because he's a citizen, so he was filing for his wife and kids, and it's the process through which. So that one he was telling me like, bro, hii kitu maze kadhe, hii kitu ni ujinga, man.
So
the wife is Kenyan.
That is complicated. That the wife, I can understand the complication of wife, but kids,
it's the kids.
Yeah,
it's the kids. Now you have to prove that this is your child. So proving this your child is to
DNA.
show. No, it's DNA.
Yeah.
But then also in addition to DNA, it's like, okay, when were you here? When did you depart?
But if DNA already shows that,
Gather.
so
where, please.
Yeah.
I know you're C-type, but boss.
No, but I'm trying.
No, but those are the questions.
You see, that is logical.
Those
The first thing is just
they're asking.
just do DNA.
Just do the damn DNA, yeah.
But this guy had to go the process of proving that
he was actually
present in the country.
Yes.
When the insemination took place.
When the insemination happened.
Yes.
When is it not conception?
Yeah.
It happened.
Yeah.
And you're told, please furnish your receipts.
Receipts
Tickets.
za nini? Za
Itinerary
and
everything.
when you were in
Yes.
Kenya.
That you landed.
Yes.
Here's my career. Here's my passport. When I went,
it could be a ghost worker.
and when I left. Yeah, exactly.
It could be a ghost worker who came and impregnated,
Yeah,
even
pale
though DNA says it's you.
Kwa Kasongo.
Okay.
It could be your brother.
Aya, sawa. Hapa Luis Muya anasema passport card can only be used to travel to Canada, Mexico and the Caribbean. At
Agreed.
sea,
Yeah.
ports of entry and land border crossings. Yakobo anasema hiyo mambo ya 5 years plus how Omosh was treated shows you that you are not as equal as a native citizen when you're naturalized. And then Stephen JJ anasema
It's not about being naturalized.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what it is.
Yeah. Now what we need to find out is if Jake, Amber and Heather go through the same thing. That's what we need to find out.
Actually, who's in Texas over there? Stephen JJ.
Yeah.
Sieneza uliza Ted Cruz.
I saw some people, and now I saw some people coming to pick up their passports while I was there, who were the Jakes, Ambers, and whatever, and they seemed to be very happy. In fact, this Jama seemed to be a guy who lives in Kenya and was just renewing his passport. And he was smiling.
He was
came
smiling.
In.
Yeah.
The guy was in and out in 2.3 minutes.
Hapa Stephen JJ anasema there was also the issue of American military men having babies abroad. Did you guys see that on the news about some time mid last year? Tell us more about that. And then Luis Muyapa anasema the CRBA, continuous report of birth abroad,
Yes, that's it. Yes.
has a requirement of 5 years physical residence in the
Yep.
US. It does not have to be continuous. Okay, that's something that we need to do a bit more research on, because most people don't know about this.
And so I think now I know where this issue is going with this particular person. So they were born of American. One of the parents was American, which then I think in made them American, or they came to the whatever the case is, but they have not lived in the U.S. for 5 years in totality, because most of their life they lived in Kenya. They've lived on and off, but it has not. I don't think it's added up to 5 years. And I think that's what was that Pablo?
That's Luis Muya.
Yes, and I think that's what it is. So it's the CRBA. So the CRBA, and so that requirement of you have to have a 5-year, residence or whatever it is, because I guess the whole point of it is that if you're not living in the US, then what do you need to register your child for?
Tibor Dagike anasema hiyo form inaitwa CRB, consular report, not continuous. It's consular report of birth abroad, and they do a DNA test. And then hapa Yakobo anasema ali the 5-year residence requirement shows that naturalized citizens are second tier. And then Luis Muya anasema DNA is not mandatory as long as your issue is straightforward. Luis, what exactly
is straightforward?
What is straightforward?
Which means
if I show up with a kid,
no, Ali, you can't show up with a kid who is white. That's what he's saying.
Okay.
You show up with a white kid, they're gonna be doing DNA.
Okay.
Now, if you show up,
if I show up with a kid who looks like me,
you,
then that's straightforward.
and then he speaks like a gaidi. Uko ndani.
Okay,
Yes,
sawa.
yes.
But Luis Muya, tell us what's straightforward.
Why guide though?
That's it. No. Sorry.
And then Yakobo anasema mi nataka Omosh ani adopt, mnasema nirudi home Ati 5 years, ama?
No, Jacobo, it's not for you. It's
Yeah.
me, the parent, have to be the one. It's the parent who has to reside, not the
Jacobo
child.
wants you to be his father, his
Okay.
daddy.
I
Aya.
can be his daddy, but
Aya.
Jacobo has got to pay me.
Okay, Washeke anasema, according to the US State Department, it's not continuous residence, but evidence of physical presence or residence in the US prior to birth. And then Luis Muya, let me see. You are subjected to what Omosh is describing. Let me see. Stephen JJ says, you can send your sperm by air. Okay.
Atia. Modo
Okay.
timorito.
Yeah.
Modo
And
timorito.
then,
Sheke.
Yakobo
Translate
anasema,
that.
Yakobo anasema, Ali, because you are not an original American, you are subjected to whatever they want. Remember, the numerous requirements can also be a screening strategy. You
Correct.
tire out and quit the process,
Yes.
which is very sad.
Yes, and that's actually where my friend is.
Yeah.
Ni frustration galore. Now to add up, they have to add up to this easy 5 years that they are wanting.
Haya.
It's very
Sasa hapa Luis
complicated.
Muya anasema he didn't even have to do a DNA test.
Yaani unasema ilikuwa spitting image,
Yeah,
spitting
na-
image ile ya
Yeah. Now I see. And then
Copy
Yakobo
and paste.
anasema unaona Washeke ni Omosh thing hakuwa ready. Anyway.
Surely.
Yeah. So
Sheke,
I,
do you believe them?
so I think this is another one.
just do some digging.
Yes, so this is another one that,
ready.
that
But at least you know now.
Yani YouTube hapa iko na watu
Sifanye hivyo basi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
YouTube iko na watu wananijaza
what
hapa.
what YouTube wanaongea.
Wanasemaje? Wanaongea matope.
There are two people over here, Resilient and Angie. Welcome to the show. Let me see who else is over here. And I don't even know where to start. So Angie basically says Project 2025 is fear mongering. Actually, what exactly in 2025 is problematic? That was a question she asked.
Allah.
And I was going back and forth with her and Resilient, who basically says the beauty in America is the redemption stories. People are given a second chance. Please research on J.D. Vance's story too. And so I basically, I agreed to disagree on some points here, but Angie, I was asking why can't every race have their day? When I was talking about, let's have a white day or month. That's what she was saying. And then Resilient was like, beats me why people want to continue fighting so hard in foreign countries, demanding to be recognized instead of us trying to make Kenya better.
Now, your comment you're resilient, but let's pause on your comment.
Go
You're
ahead.
resilient.
Yes.
I think, and this has nothing to do with who supported Trump or who didn't support him, but I think we need to start thinking in 3 dimensions. Hii mambo ya one-dimensional thinking has to come to an end. The issue right now in Kenya, it's nice and dandy to say, oh, like we need to stop foreign support. I am sure if it is Biden who had done the same thing, Resilient would not be saying the same thing. Mm-hmm. And that's a problem with this all.
I will go with your premise.
Yeah, if it's Biden who had frozen that aid, the story would be entirely different.
Well.
So I think it's good. I agree, at some point, African countries, we have to figure out how to take care of ourselves.
Agreed, 100%.
Yes, but then the situation that's on the ground right now, the government of Kenya cannot even effectively put medicines in hospitals.
It is incompetent.
Yeah. So some of these programs have lasted for so many years. These things, you don't just turn them on and off.
No.
It has to be
Select switch.
It has to be a gradual withdrawal. So this thing of, oh yeah, machismo, Trump has done a great thing. Well, Kenya, there are people who are going to lose their lives.
And not even that.
There are people who are going to lose their lives because of this. Yes, we can philosophically agree that at some point we need to start being self-reliant. But even when you look at the countries that became self-reliant, this thing wasn't just pulled under their feet. It's something that happened gradually.
It was gradual.
So at some point, I know, like Trump people are excited, like oozing machismo. He doesn't even care if people have crashed, and he will blame, DEI and other things. But I'm saying at some point, just pause and start reasoning like a normal person, because we're not dealing with a normal situation. We know very well if Biden is the one who done this, we would not be having these philosophical arguments that what is done is great, because and I think with what Trump has done is just bring to the realization how much we rely on the US, how much African countries rely on the US
aid
for so many different things.
But here's the thing, though. In that relying on, I think, I'm going to say this, I think many people have seen that as an opportunity to eat, to take advantage, because tunajua IRV zinakuja, madawa zinakuja, whatever, we're getting this aid, whatever, which is well and good.
Yeah.
That has given some idiots an opportunity to eat.
Absolutely.
And that is the problem.
Yeah.
And now that tap might be closed, inafungwa, then the question is, okay, nyinyi wajinga, what do you have set in place with this Taifa Care, Shift Sha, whatever, to help these guys who have been helped by these guys, USAID and these NGOs and
the
stuff.
different programs, World Health,
Yes.
whatever they are. Yes.
Yeah.
But what do you have in place?
Yeah.
And yes, in one aspect, you're like, okay, what does the government have in place? And right now, it's shambolic as we speak. But now you're adding.
Omosh, endelea kusoma hizo comments.
Idiots.
Okay. So, yani. So back to, let's see, I was at resilient emotion and okay, yes. So I at one point I went back and forth with Resilient and Angie, and I said, Resilient and Angie, you two must be the same person, because hizi vitu mnasema ni kama ni mtu mmoja ndiye amesema, lakini ako na jina mbili.
Masudu accounts.
So maybe one was Kizito, and so in this case
the other one was Zabanga.
Yes. So in this case it's Resilient and Angie. And they both denied. They said, kwenda huko. Why do you think that we are the same person? In fact, they said that there's a lot of DJT supporters. This is Resilient. Resilient says that there's a lot of DJT supporters who are Kenyan, and they're no longer in the, how did Resilient term it? In the democratic, they're no longer in the democratic plantation, was the comment. And I was like, wow.
Yeah,
okay,
that's fine.
I was like, okay,
that's cool.
No, that's fair
that's
enough.
Okay, that's fair enough.
That's fair enough, but I think also people just don't understand the depth that that these American programs especially
we would like for what's her name? Resilience?
There's Resilient and there's Angie.
Yeah.
What's the phone number?
202-683-4570.
Please.
Press star 5. Now, like the problem is that this we are so, and it's not only Kenya, it's a lot of African countries,
Nigerians,
that depend on these
whatever.
programs.
Yes.
And you see what America sometimes does, like even when a lot of these Trump supporters say, oh yeah, it's the right thing, America should not be using their dollars to support like foreign countries. Remember, America profits out of their foreign aid.
A nonsense.
That's one thing that a lot of people don't realize. They don't do this out of the goodness of their hearts.
No.
And I think this is the three-dimensional thinking that we all need to start going. You can do a Google search. For every dollar America invests abroad, by the way, America only spends about 1% of its entire budget on foreign aid. I know, like, sometimes when they talk about it on TV, they make it seem like it's a very big amount. It's only 1% of the entire budget. And with that 1%, there's different estimates. There's actually one estimate, and I'm gonna try to share that research. There was one estimate that was showing for every dollar that America spends in foreign aid, they earn $33 back. It could be in business, because look, when they're spending this foreign aid, what they're doing is they're buying influence. A lot of these laws that are being passed, like in African countries, in so many countries where America gives aid, they're influenced from here. And these laws, they tend to give advantage to American companies. Have you walked into a Kenyan supermarket? Omosh, we're in Kenya, December, January. Have you walked into a Kenyan supermarket? Have you seen how many American products are in that supermarket?
There's a lot.
Do you think they happened to be there by chance or by happenstance?
Don't even talk about supermarket. Domino's, KFC,
Burger King.
Subway,
American brands, yes.
Burger King.
Yes.
And not just in Kenya.
Yeah. In so many African countries. So people need to understand.
We have
Yes.
JW Marriott.
Yes, I know, you know, like Trump supporters love his oozing machismo, but they need to understand that some of these things is disrupting already as we speak right now. The dollar has been losing influence for a while in terms of how much people are using it for foreign transactions or holding it foreign reserves over time. So now understand one thing: if Trump does the wrong things, because now part of America's strength is the US dollar. If America loses that advantage, then they cannot, first of all, you know, like do the sanctions that they normally do, where if they don't like you, if they don't agree with what you've done, they cannot overnight decide to freeze your money and do these things. So I think these are the three-dimensional approaches that people need to have in their thinking before you just take these slogans that are being shouted by podcasters and people on social media. There's a whole other aspect that people might end up losing, especially when it comes to that aspect of foreign aid, especially when on matters health. I think we need to get someone who's in the health sector in Kenya to just talk to us and tell us how,
and someone not in government
to tell us, you know, like the impact of what a sudden pullout will do, you know, because we agree, yes, our governments should be taking care of this. We should be paying for our own programs. We should be buying ARVs for AIDS patients and everything. But this thing, it cannot happen overnight. You know, like the world just doesn't work that way. Almost fire. Sijui kama ulikuwa na comments zingine hapo YouTube.
Ziko mob. I'm just going to try to summarize them. Karibu Pan-African Nation, who basically was making a comment saying he was once I don't know if they he or she. I was once an illegal immigrant in Boston and Northern California. Back to Kasongo Nation. And resilience, like we would all love to come home. East or West, home is the best. That's true. And Angie says, if you look for racism, you will always see it. I don't know about that one, Angie, but that's okay. That's Angie's thought. And she's like, make Kenya great again. And she was also asking, does the aid go towards the wananchi or does it go into the pockets of corrupt politicians? I think it's both, but the percentage that goes into the politicians' pockets or people who know how to finagle or in those areas is rather high. I think it's more like something like 95-5. Like 95 goes into somebody's pocket and 5% goes.
So Americans audit their programs. I know with Americans they audit a lot. Anything that's appropriated by Congress.
I'm talking in general with NGOs, and a lot of NGOs have put in. What are they called? I guess they have ways or markers or ways that they because it had gone rampant. Yeah. So they have checks and balances, but still there's other things where you have favors. Like when you look at things like say like KEMSA or whatever. Remember when we had the PP? What are those things called? The
PPP.
Yes. When we had those kits that were going into, that had been donated, that were going into the warehouse, then there's storage fees that are being charged for those things, there's sijui nini, there's transportation, blah blah, up on the paliwatu kula. Yeah. You know, so there, because again, if it's going to the Kenyan government, once it's released into the Kenyan government's hands, what they decide to do with it at that point once it's released. Yeah. You know, because unless it's the actual program itself, say like one of those USAID ninis, that they are actually going on the field and it's their people who are actually giving out the PPPs or they're giving out whatever it is. But once it's handed over, that things get a little bit complicated. And then Yakobo Simba here is laughing at me and saying that Pan-African is dropping bars. Angie, are you a resilient person? So because, you know, I had accused Angie.
Angie of being resilient.
Yes. So then basically, Yakobo says Angie is resilient, but resilient is not Angie. Yakobo, utawacha hizo joke zako. Andrew Kimani, thank you for coming to the show. I think this is your first time here, and karibu sana. That's actually Bushi. Yes, karibu. Back to you, studio.
Okay. Hapa pia on Facebook, people were making a lot of comments while we were looking through the comments on YouTube. Louis went through, Washaka and Louis went through the process and it was simple according to him. That's great, Louis. So I think we need to have,
conversation
with people who had it smooth and people who had a hard time.
And
to know where
again, this resident thing, which I didn't know that was, now we are finding out that it's actually a requirement. So if you have not done if you've not done the 5 years, you don't qualify.
So if you're an American living in Kenya building Mafuroti, then you will not meet that 5-year residency.
No. You have to have lived the 5 years. And I think maybe was it?
You have to have lived in the US for 5 years.
Up to. It needs to add up to 5 years. I know my friend hadn't.
But to get your citizenship, didn't you live in the US for 5 years with a green card? Or as a citizen? 5 years as a citizen?
You the citizen, need to have been living you need to have lived in the US for
continuously.
5 years.
Okay.
And not continuously. It didn't say it's continuous. This
okay, but just at least 5 years across your life.
This person has not lived in the US. You know, like the way you can have a toy here, then you go back to Kenya.
Yeah.
With your toy when they're 1.
Yeah.
And they grow up in Kenya.
Yeah.
It doesn't take away from their citizenship.
Yeah.
But then now that residency requirement.
So now when that toy gets a toy
in Kenya. Now anajaribu kumregister.
It becomes a problem.
Yes, hapo ndio palikuwa pakurambwa.
What if the toy is white and his name is Jake?
It doesn't matter. The rules are the rules.
Okay. This is something that...
Yeah, because when they're looking at those things, they're not looking at this guy's Jake. They're just saying this person is an American. Hapo kwa treatment, when you walk in, hapo ndio pali.
Hapo ndo kuna kizungumkuti.
Yes. Hapo ndio pali Jake, Omosh, Dredi, Z.
Okay.
How?
All right.
Yes, sir.
Alafu hapa Kanyarwa anasema this aid has been provided since the days of Bush. By now, we should have figured out our solution to the issues surrounding HIV prevention and treatment. Philosophically, I agree with you. I agree with you. But now these solutions, they're not going to come overnight.
Our governments are actively not doing it on purpose because they know Big Brother is going to
taking care of it.
So
and
I
think that's part of the
that
problem.
They are never, ever going to do until probably somebody says, we are chopping your legs off. Then they'll be like, then they may try.
But until Wanjiko holds them accountable.
But you see also Big Brother is also happy for Kenya to keep doing this because as
that's
long as
something
they
hold. Yeah.
It's something they hold against you.
It's a carrot.
Yeah, it's a carrot and then they'll be able to wield their influence based on that.
And the day there's a realization that Wanjiko wanakuja, the powers that be, they'll be like...
But you see another problem is when you look at countries where you had leaders who are trying to provide this for their people. What happens to them? They get killed.
Yes.
Muammar Gaddafi. Yeah, he got killed.
Yes.
He was providing all these things that we are asking for in Kenya for his people. But
that is why
he got killed.
That is why I have apprehensions against our Burkina Faso guy.
Yeah, so I'm also worried about Ibrahima Traore because
I am.
Yeah, I'm worried about
whatever
him.
he's doing is you know what, is on point.
Yes.
But nani kama sisi self-sabotage.
Alafu hapa kuna Adhiambo Dak. Steven Jeje anasema for every $1 we get 7 goes out. And then Adhiambo Dak anasema kuna wale supporters who just realize they are black and immigrant wako kwa mataa deadly. And then Steven Jeje says karibu thao moja inatoka juu tumepewa so moja. Alafu bado kuna zile do zinapotea juu ya corruption sahi ni 3 billion shillings a day. Noma sana. And then hapa Washeke says Yakobo ako active na YouTube. Yuko kila pali. Yakobo is not missing out. He's on both sides. And we love that. And then Yakobo hapa anasema lakini such folks think they are still immune to the effects. That's the black people who supported Trump. And then anasema Yakobo anamuuliza Washeke, unanitaka side gani? Hata nimeachana na hao resilient, nimerudi kwako. And then Washeke anasema kaa huku, si ulitaka salamu za Valentines. Okay. Hapa it seems there's something personal going on.
No, you know, these people who are starting these dating lines over here, they need to pay us.
Yeah.
Because as far as I'm concerned, a lot of these places normally pay people for matchmaking. So easy matchmaking wanafanya hapa. Wase watachota.
Yakobo amechoka na watu wa YouTube, but yeah, you know, like amerudi Facebook sasa tena. But it's all good. We like getting, you know, like comments from diverse groups. We do understand that there's Trump supporters who are Kenyan. We understand that, and we like hearing. We just love you to call and talk. Unakumbuka kama the day when that week when Trump won, the way they were calling in, that's how he should be calling in. You know, like call in, talk to us.
But with the current EOs and
that's why they should call us and just talk to us and explain. Now let's come to Storia birthright citizenship. Because Leo, you know, like issue of citizenship, we've attacked it at different angles, from if you're an American citizen and you're in Kenya and you've lost a passport, or if uli travel, you know, like kijambazi tu na Kenyan passport, knowing that utaenda huko pati your American passport.
And this is the same crap that mama umesikia vile amesema.
Hiyo yenyewe omosh.
Ati kijambazi.
Hiyo yenyewe omosh. Hiyo hapo you set yourself up.
No, I didn't set myself up. Na kwanza nilikuwa nimepiga calculation because I had precedent.
Did you know that you were going to travel? Yes.
Yes.
Did you know that your passport was expired? Yes.
Yes.
Did you apply for your passport on time?
Yes.
What was on time?
No, I applied on time, but there was an issue.
There was an issue with your application.
There was an issue not with my application. There was an issue between me.
The issuance of the passport.
There was an issue between me.
And the issue of the passport.
No, between
and
me.
And the issuance.
Yeah.
Hold on. Between me, the IRS, and the State Department.
Okay, sasa hiyo hapo, hiyo hata tuachane naye hiyo hapo. Hiyo hata tuongee nyuma ya tent sasa.
We don't have to.
Yeah.
Mimi unaja mimi ya. Ndaambia tu. All I can tell you is, if you have IRS related issues,
like you've not paid taxes,
and they consider them seriously delinquent, for lack of a better word,
so they will hold your passport.
They will hold the services of you getting a passport.
Wow.
Mark those words. They will hold the services of you getting a passport.
I think that's a whole other show.
And that is something I think that was passed in 2015. I think that law was passed in 2015.
That is a whole other show. Most we need a whole other show now for that.
And you know, there are people who just don't know this.
Yeah.
I can tell you for free.
Yeah.
And
based on experience.
Yes. And what ends up happening is that Big Brother IRS sends a communication to the passport services and says, huyu usimpe passport.
Okay.
Until they come back to me.
I've known for child support. I know they could deny you a passport because of child support.
I didn't know about child support.
Yes, child support.
I thought child support is like when now ukiingia sasa hapo ndio mtu anakupigia stone face anakwambia okay, come, we've been waiting for you.
No, with child support they can deny you a passport.
Okay, hey, that's another.
Or they can refuse to renew your passport.
There's a second reason why things can go haywire. However, I can tell you that it's not that you are denied a passport. They just denied you the services.
Yeah.
Because remember, it is a service that is given to you so that you then acquire.
Okay.
So they just deny you the service.
Okay.
Yes, that's what they say. They're not denying you a passport because it's your right to get a passport.
Okay.
They just deny you the service.
They deny you the service.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
It's kizungu too. Ni kizungu.
So anyway, let's get to now this thing for birthright citizenship. I know this is something that that Trump had been talking about for a very long time, and a lot of people, including his own supporters, were saying that that he cannot do this, and he went ahead and issued an executive order, declaring that you can only. So I think from Trump's definition, the only people who qualify to be citizens are if you're born here, if either of your parents is either a citizen or a legal permanent resident. And that's it. So that means if your parents are students, even if they're here legally.
Visitors.
I think that's what people did not
Diplomats.
read. Yeah, visitors. Diplomats, that's in the Constitution.
Do
Diplomats.
do diplomats get it?
No, diplomats.
No.
If you're
They
child
don't
of a
get it, right?
diplomat,
They
even our
don't.
Constitution.
Yes. That's why I was
Diplomats,
saying
yeah.
that, yes. Because I
Yeah,
didn't think
so
the diplomats get it.
diplomats already are not supposed to get it. I know there are some who've taken, but as a child of a diplomat, you're not supposed to get citizenship just because you're born in America. But then now, if you're students, if you're
A visitor.
visitors, if you're here on any kind of immigration
None.
that's not permanent,
Correct.
any kind of
Yes.
immigration that's not
Yes.
permanent,
Could
then
be work.
then
I don't know if work is even considered. I guess it could be a work.
no,
during a couple
even
of days.
even your
right?
H1B, that's not permanent.
Yes, correct.
So
It is
hawa
not.
watu, all those Indians for Trump, pia wao weko ndani.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
You mean
Those
that
people who own H1B visas?
H1 and yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So those ones, you get kids here, they're not citizens. Yeah. Indians for Trump wako ndani.
Do they know this?
Now they know. They see the FA and FO. Ama, what was it? Yeah.
Fafo.
Yeah. FAFO.
Any Fafo.
Yeah.
Eh,
See
Fafo.
the Oko, like saying Indians for Trump.
So are you saying that also the Makis who come and they have the otas for picking oranges and then you happen to be Nini? And
That's
then
temporary. That is temporary. That is temporary.
Even them
yeah.
they don't get?
Yeah, because
You have to be a permanent resident
Yeah.
or a citizen.
So even a musician who has come here to perform at
Permanent resident.
at Vegas,
and then you picked a girl who
at-
was dancing
at
there,
Vegas
and you went and
Sevens,
had relations.
and then you related, or maybe you came when you were preggers, and then you decided to stay and have your toy.
Nope. Permanent resident or citizen.
yeah, permanent resident. Yeah. So that's go back and read the executive order.
So no more sending your mama to come over here kama tumbo iko kubwa ati ya nini.
Nope.
Are they a citizen or a permanent resident?
See, they came to visit their sister in Texas,
Yeah. So
so they could give birth.
yeah. So then that child will not be a citizen. Now here is the argument that's coming. But before hata tuende kwa hiyo argument, let me see what people are saying hapa on what people are saying hapa on Facebook. Hapa Yakobo anasema enda polepole, atakuweka kikapu moja na mimi niliwaambia niliwaambia the issue was DJ Machachari a while ago, mka blame system. And then Kanyero anasema back child support and paid tickets, taxes will cause your passport to be suspended. Wow, that is this is good information.
I didn't know
that we're
about
getting.
unpaid tickets.
Yeah. So the Washaka anasema the only permanent is 10-year green card. They
Yeah, see the 2 year.
yeah, they know
Yeah, the 2 years temporary.
they
It's not
know
permanent.
because in New Jersey there have been increased requests for induction for pregnant women, because I think with the way I think a judge has already suspended that order for the moment, but the way it was, any child, if that executive order was to be effected, it was any child born on or after February 20th,
Yes.
yeah, would have been affected
Yes.
by this
order.
order.
Yes.
And remember, it is the executive branch that does those things, that issues passports, that issues all those things that show that you're a citizen.
So either way, Susan Kihika would have been fine.
But any residents, you citizens, do what? Yes.
Yeah, I think I think she might. I don't know. By the way, if she's a citizen, then she's illegally a governor of Ama, what is she?
No.
See, she's a governor
She's a governor.
Yes, she's a
How is it-
governor.
How is she illegally?
because she has foreign citizenship. Have you read the Kenyan Constitution?
No, I haven't. Please. No, that's what I'm asking. Wait, relax.
Okay.
Wait. Why are you attacking? I just asked a question,
But
bro.
she's
Okay.
not the first governor who would have that.
Bro, just I
No,
just asked a
even if
question.
you're not the first,
I just
even
asked
if
a
you're not the
question.
first thief,
Why
That-
you
but
so,
you still
Wait,
strong.
hold on. Why are you so
Yeah.
defensive?
Yeah,
No,
bwana.
Have you read the constitution?
No,
Educator, brother.
I thought this was obvious.
No,
Kwa
it's
nini
not.
unaangalia watu
Bana,
watu wa
umse.
Nakuru bana? You know
So-
these guys Nakuru roots bwana.
So if you're
Tiga o baby.
So if you're you cannot be a state officer in Kenya. All elected officials are state officers. You cannot be a state officer in Kenya if you're holding citizenship of another country. Remember the controversy surrounding
The chick from
Mwende?
North Korea. Yes.
Mwende Mwinzi, not North Korea, South.
South Korea, sorry.
Yeah.
No, I meant South, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, North.
Mwende.
Huko ni
The
purgatory.
issue with Mwende was not even, she had not denied the citizenship, but the issue was, is an ambassador a state officer? That was the issue. But it was determined that an ambassador is not a state officer, they're a public officer. So you can be a dual citizen and still be
An
an
ambassador.
ambassador. But you cannot be a dual citizen, this is according to the Kenyan constitution, and be an elected official. Although we know there's a couple of elected officials who are holding foreign passports.
Can we know who they are?
Eh? I mean, you know, like Omosh, I don't know whether Susan Kika holds foreign, I don't know. It's Omosh who mentioned it. Me, I don't know.
Me, I mentioned that. Me, I know that she was here giving birth. That's why I was asking. But apparently, she already gave birth.
Yeah, but
So-
but whether
So that law was not gonna.
but we don't know. We don't know whether she's an American
the law
citizen.
the law was not gonna gonga her because February 20th, Pia
Yeah,
Bado.
yeah.
So
No,
Ashaza-
but that has been suspended for the moment.
Either way,
So I think
For the
yeah,
moment.
either way,
yeah,
she was okay.
yeah. But I think what
Oh, sorry, Susan, as you are.
Yeah, but I think what the game that the Trump administration is playing right now is throw everything,
See what sticks.
throw everything, and then try to use the courts to see what will stick.
And by the way, the thing about Susan Kika is alleged reports that we've seen and that
Yeah.
have been perambulating.
Yes.
She said it.
Oh, she did?
Remember, you know, those Jamas had called her missing in action. Na
Yeah.
akasema hapana, I'm out on maternity leave.
Oh, okay, sawa.
Na yuko.
Yeah, she's in the
stateside.
US. Yeah,
Yes.
so that's
Okay,
public information.
Yes,
Okay, carry
it's,
on.
yeah, it is.
That's,
It's
that's public
info.
information.
So yes, you're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
He's throwing stuff
Yeah.
to see what sticks.
And he's throwing them at a very rapid pace. And this is a tactic that's called flood the zone. So when you flood the zone, the people who are on the defense, like Democrats are on defense, there are so many things that are coming that they can't catch everything. So while they're
Some
trying to
things
deal
will
with this one,
slip through.
yeah, while they're trying to deal with this one, imagine this is like mob justice, where you're trying to block this guy, but there's another guy in a kiatu huko. So that's what's happening, because you see these things came in a torrent, and we're gonna see more coming
and
in the coming weeks.
And to provide context about flood the zone, you guys
Yeah.
should go listen to an interview that was done, I think, in 2017, 18. I'm not sure. This idiot, Steve Bannon, was interviewed. He did a 2-hour, 19-minute interview with Frontline. Exclusive. Just watch it. And you can see that sometimes these guys, what they're doing is they are. Steve Bannon's idea was just throw it. The way you've been handling stuff, the media is going to bite on it
It's gonna bite, yeah.
and they will run with it. So, you're distracting. Unawapatia kakitu. You know, like how you want to distract a doggy, you just throw a ball, alafu
Yeah.
inaenda inakimbia, maybe itakuletea, lakini you throw it further huko, itaenda ikimbia. And that is where I'm thinking, what exactly is the Democrats' strategy? It's okay to counter, it's okay to challenge, it's okay to go ahead, but there has to be a plan.
So I mean, of course, they're challenging these things in court.
No, they're challenging.
But then these things are coming so fast. But now the strategy is throw as much as you can. It becomes more difficult for them to be on the defense, and then maybe lower courts will quash them. But then you have the Supreme Court in your pocket. So if these things make it to the Supreme Court, because I think one of the arguments that people were saying, this is constitutional, there's nothing that can. This Supreme Court has
Who are saying that? MAGA guys?
MAGA guys, yeah.
MAGA.
So Supreme Court it nullified Roe versus Wade.
Yes.
It nullified previous precedent.
Yes.
So birthright citizenship is based on a precedent, and I wish we had Pablo here. It's based on a precedent in 17, I think it was 17, or is it 1790?
Which law?
1898, the United States versus
But about
Timor.
1898. It was about the
1898.
Chinese. It was about the
Yeah.
Chinese guy. The
So
Chinese guy.
that's a precedent that has given birthright citizenship.
100%.
Yeah. So now, if this Supreme Court has reversed previous precedent, what makes people think
That they will not reverse.
that they will not do it again? So now, if this goes to the Supreme Court, I suspect the Chief Justice, because the Chief Justice Roberts is concerned with credibility of the court.
Oh, really?
No, I think Roberts is concerned. Now he's
Right
the
now?
swing- he's been the swing
He's
vote.
a useless guy.
No, when you look at let's not look at this one dimension. When you look at the votes, he's actually sided with the liberals in some of the rulings. He's actually sided with the liberals. He's now the one who's almost in the center, because he would sometimes side with the conservatives, but on some major rulings he sided with the liberals. So let's give him credit for that. So now, unless we have another conservative who will side with the three liberals, and Roberts also goes against it, because this is very fundamental. This will already right now, the credibility of the Supreme Court is at a very low level in the US.
I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
Amy Coney Barrett, that Kamama from, I think, Florida, the one who stopped Jack Smith, the one who was instrumental in putting a halt to Jack, the case on the items that this guy had chukuad from Korea, from the archives. Not Amy Coney Barrett, what's her name? This mama was, the name escapes me, but she has been instrumental in blocking Jack Smith. Jack Smith is the guy who was prosecuting Trump on the documents and files that he took back at in the toilet, whatever. Like, she's the one who has just been putting injunctions over here and there, whatever. Guys, just remind me the name. That one. Huyo anaingia Supreme Court. Chances are Thomas na Alito wataambiwa, boss, you guys retire, and then
They'll be forced out. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
and then Trump will put in two others, and that one will be a what? 7-2, 6-3, full. Like when those
No,
two leave,
it's gonna be 6-3
yes,
either way.
Either way, but
Yeah.
so that even now it doesn't matter what John Roberts does.
Donasema.
Even if he's the swing vote, it
Donasema.
will not mean anything.
Yes. So Donasema, like we have I think anaitwaje, there's the two Trump appointees, the two male Trump appointees,
Gorsuch and
Gorsuch
Kavanaugh.
and Kavanaugh.
Yes.
Yeah. So those two, when if you follow, there's a podcast that's called Scotters. I can't remember the name of the podcast that talks about the Supreme Court. So those two, there are some cases where they were expected to rule with the conservatives, but they sided with the liberals. So, because remember, these people at the end of the day, despite being Trump appointees, they're concerned. Remember, one of the reasons why I said, going back to what I said earlier, why I feel Trump may not last to 2028. Do you guys remember a president called Richard Nixon?
Yes.
Now, Richard
Watergate.
Nixon was more popular.
Watergate.
Was more popular than Trump.
Yeah.
And Richard Nixon had also been voted in for a second term. Yeah, people forget that he was more popular than Trump, and he had more control of when it comes to media, and he had more control over so many things. But guess what? Maji akizidiunga, it's his own Republicans who turned against him, and for him, he did not even wait. He resigned.
But I think also the context is, I think the other context is, I don't think the supporters themselves back then were as as whatever, as way more than what we have here when you see what the Trump supporters do.
No, I think you need to go back and maybe just
because if his supporters was as virulent as Trump guys, Nixon would not have resigned.
His supporters, he actually had supporters until the very last minute.
No, he did. I'm not saying that he didn't. But when you, again, if the supporters, if he had the same type of support from the supporters, those guys would have made sure that even you would have said, you know what, primary these people who are these people who are coming to fight me. A guy who has come out and said that I was spared by God to support you people.
No, I think we also, I think Uno, you also don't have context of what was happening at that time.
At that time,
so Unaona, this kind of cult support that you see MAGA with, this is nothing new in America. It is nothing new in America.
It's not.
Nixon had similar support, and just go and read back. You know, like, in fact, it was very shocking. You know, like, looking back when things went to the point zikafika mambo impeachment, because he had done so many other things. He was trying to do, you know, like some similar things to what Trump was doing, you know, like control this agency. He was trying to do a lot of similar things.
But no, and when it comes to support, let me say this. I understand, because some of the people who were so pro Nixon went against him. I remember that because there's a podcast I was listening to, and they went against him, and those guys said, you know what?
And that was in the second term.
And I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
I do not see that happening for Trump.
You're already seeing cracks in the Senate.
McConnell?
Not only McConnell.
McConnell is 200 years old.
Not only McConnell. There's another guy, I'm forgetting his name. In fact, that the fourth guy, the fourth Republican, are saying is the one who's gonna bury
Trump.
No, not Trump. These nominees. Why am I forgetting their names? Hegseth.
Hegseth has already been nominated.
No, Hegseth amepita. I'm talking Tulsi Gabbard and RFK. There's a fourth. I'm gonna find his name. There's a fourth Republican. Now, once you have that one, you only need one for another one, and all of a sudden, because even for McConnell, that it was also surprising.
It was a shocker.
It was a big shocker.
It was a shocker.
Now, number 2 is coming in. So Senate, as long as, and then remember, in the House, guess what?
The majority is what, 2?
No, it's 2 or 1, because I think it's 2 or 1. It's a very narrow margin.
It's 2.
It's a very narrow margin, because I think some of there's some people who are appointed to the cabinet or to other positions, so the majority became slimmer. So things are not looking good in the House, and things are not looking good in the Senate. You just need a few people, like maybe 2-3 Republicans.
We shall see.
To throw a wrench.
I'm not saying it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
That is one. But I'm also saying that looking back at Nixon's time, I don't see the fervor that was there. I could be wrong. No, but you see, because I wasn't there.
Yeah.
I know Mosh was there, but he cannot. He's holding his tongue. But when we look at the fervence with which this guy is being supported, and you can see even from when he started his campaign.
The fervor starts happening, the issues start happening when maji yakizidi unga. That's when Americans turn. But right now.
But with Trump, when is that?
No, right now,
because even in the first term,
Trump never experienced any crisis in his first term.
COVID.
Trump never experienced any crisis.
COVID.
Okay, so COVID, and COVID came towards COVID came what year?
2019.
It came towards it was
2020.
It was 2020.
2020 March.
It was towards the end of his term.
Okay.
It was towards the end of his term.
Okay.
So Trump never really experienced a crisis. But at that time, when Nixon was being impeached,
and by the way, COVID was early 2020, March.
It was March 2020.
Yes.
And elections was
November.
Yeah.
So
that,
still-
so that was a
So
very
that
was a very short period of time. But now you see Nixon started experiencing there was Vietnam. There were so many things happening at that particular time. So and Vietnam was one of the big things because now Americans were dying. So na mimi nakwambia maji yakizidi unga, we've already started seeing cracks right now, even before things get started. As times go by, and if any senator suspects that they might lose their seat, especially you have to watch the Republicans who are gonna be on the ballot in 2026. Those are the ones to watch. Those are the ones who might change tune.
And now this brings me back to my issue with Dems and packaging. Because if you cannot package this right, bore kabisa.
I think also the issue, Pia, is also with, not to blame the voters, but Dem voters sometimes look for perfection. And that's the reason why we lost to Trump.
There's so many reasons.
When you think about 81 million,
I don't want to discuss
81 million voted for Biden, but then we lost 6 million. So there's 6 million people who voted for Biden who decided, this is not worth it.
True.
Yeah, they just decided this is not worth it. And yes, and it's because we're looking for perfection. Yes, there are so many issues that we're experiencing, including prioritizing, ISO LGBT issues and stuff like that. But then look at the Republican side. These guys...
That was an issue.
But look at the Republicans. These guys are
They didn't care
fucking
about
up.
it.
They don't care. The Republicans, they're fucking up all the time, but their voters will still vote for them.
And by the way, Donald Trump had LGBTQ supporters.
There you go.
He did.
Yeah.
In fact, there are guys who are like, gay for Trump.
Yeah, so...
They had that.
So I think part of the issue is ikitu ya kutafuta, looking for a perfect candidate. There's no...
And I think Washeke mentioned something.
There's no perfect candidate.
Washeke mentioned something over here, like... somebody said that Democrats want to fall in love, Republicans fall in line.
And there you go.
And that is why, because Republicans fall in line, immigration has become an issue. And it has become an issue such that people now are FAing and FOing right now.
Yeah, okay. Sawa. Let me read a few comments here. There are so many comments that were coming through. Bosheke here says, let me start from Stephen Batty says, it's as long as you have allegiance to USA, your child becomes a citizen per the 15th Amendment. So Mama Kihika aseme ukweli. Bosheke says, these politicians count on Kenyans being ignorant of law. Nakuru pips should use this to impeach her. And then Kobo says, unfortunately so, and impeachment needs local politicians to be on board as well. Na hao hulipwa rahisi
sana.
And then hapa Mubelwa anasema ni kama US tu, kama hujazaliwa hapa unaweza kuwa governor ila huwezi kuwa senator ama rais. That's true.
Yes.
I did not even know the senator part, but I knew.
Yeah, you can, but you can't be president.
No, anasema huwezi kuwa senator. You can't be a senator or
you can't
president.
be a senator?
So that's what Bandio is saying. Bandio, for me, I did not know about the senator part. But I think with the senator is because Senate, you have people who are in line to become president. Because the line...
Oh, the pecking order.
Yeah, the pecking order. Yeah, there's someone,
Yes.
Yeah,
because
so
if you're a majority leader,
it's not even majority leader. It's
but what about Congress?
It's a Senate. It's called the Senate Pro. It's the person who pro temp, the one who's been there the longest, because it's president,
the senior most.
It's president, vice president, and then it's speaker, and then after speaker.
What's the hierarchy?
President, vice president, and then speaker
of.
The speaker of the House.
Or the House.
Yeah.
So
and
the
then,
Speaker of the House, you cannot be you cannot be dual.
So I don't know.
Are there people who are dual in the career?
No. America has no issue with dual.
No. I'm talking about
America has no issue with dual.
because from what Bandi was saying about you
just have to be an American by birth.
Yes, American by birth.
Yeah.
Naturalized out West make.
Yeah.
No,
Naturalized, you can't be
we know
president.
that,
Yeah.
but
You, as long as you're American by birth.
okay. How
yeah.
does Ali? Okay, got it. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so and then hapa Yakobo anasema unfortunately emotional fatigue is the fastest way to get your victory in war. One mic, the victory for the Dems will come from the citizens. The people will revolt and the pendulum will begin to swing when their basic needs remain unmet, too expensive.
And actually, just to mention on that, there's a time we were talking to Bandio. Bandio tells me, like, you know what, the way Trump has behaved, it's like the pendulum is swinging away from him,
Yeah.
and it's coming this way.
Yeah.
What?
For the first time,
I think it hung over there because I just swing all the way back.
for the first time in there's a certain poll that's showing that there are more people who disapprove of Trump than approve him, and that's the first time for a president who's just been elected where you have more people who disapprove of him. And then hapo Washeke anasema Yakobo, farmers are starting to see that with immigrants being threatened, then add the tariffs, a perfect storm. The honeymoon will end soon. At the end of the day, they love money more than they hate
brown people.
Okay, and then Yakobo
Eileen
anasema-
Cannon, that's the one. Thank you, Louis Muya. Eileen Cannon.
Okay.
That is the judge who has just been supporting Trump
Okay.
with
all
Jack
right.
Smith.
And then hapa Yakobo anasema correct, and this will be the turn of events. The farmers and large corporations like Walmart and Amazon will flex because the illegal or recent immigrants run a key part of their production processes. And then Washeke says the only difference now in social media and 24-hour news cycle makes them more visible. That's difference between Trump and Nixon. And then let me see. Yakobo, tell Uno Americans can even change political allegiance each election season, unlike the Baba Damunes and Kumira za Kenya. Yeah, that's very true. And then Evans Marube says Sasa Trump is married to Melania, Slovenia. His first wife Ivanka from Czech Republic. His vice president Vance is married to an Indian descent. Kwani ndege za illegal za Europe haziko ama ni Latin world na Africa pekee. And then Bandio hapa anasema as of January 30th, 2020, a total of 9976 cases had been reported in at least 21 countries, including those confirmed cases 2019.
This is COVID.
So January 20 investigations are under to better understand transmission dynamics. And then hapa Mubelo anasema correction kwa senator ni lazima uwe citizen kwa miaka 9. Yeah. So you can actually become a senator if you are naturalized. If you're not, it's only the president. It's only the
president. You have to be.
yeah.
You have to be born here.
Yeah, you have to be born here. President, of course, and vice president.
And vice president.
Yeah.
Because I remember Arnold Schwarzenegger wanted to be president because he was governor.
He was
But
governor.
he wanted to run for president. And he was trying
He
to
was
change
trying
that.
to get them to change it there,
Yes.
not
Yeah.
changing that thing for a guy who
Yeah.
speaks like this.
Yeah, that they can't. That they will not change.
So we were talking about. I think you chop at the intro about AI and how it has changed stuff.
Yes.
And you're talking about KI. So DeepSeek.
Yeah.
So I was one of those guys. I heard about DeepSeek, but I didn't say anything. But when I had my brother over here had tried to join DeepSeek, I'm like, Allah, because I know him is an AI guy. So me, I tried to sign up with AI.
Yeah.
And
With
you
DeepSeek.
failed miserably.
Ilikata.
Unaenda
It was
use
blocked, eh?
email, password, send code. The code comes after 25 minutes.
Me, I didn't even know the code comes after. Me nilikuwa naona tu
I was
sioni code.
calculating
Yeah.
because I was seeing notifications.
But then it gives you 60 seconds to enter the
to
code.
enter the code. So I was like, I'd even given up on it.
Yeah.
But then, because let me give a big shout out to Chad. He had told me he had run DeepSeek. He was playing with it. Then Dr. Omanwa,
Yeah.
computer science guy, he has been playing with it. He's fascinated. Another parliament called Kemandu. So eventually I was able to get in. What? I was like, hey, guys, finally it succeeded. And then Ali was able to succeed. So
Yeah.
I decided, you know what, because these guys were saying how DeepSeek is like this, I'm like, you know what, let me give it a prompt. I was like, can you provide a summary of Project 2025 on immigration and itemize the main points and identify the actions on immigrants?
Mm-hmm.
nimepata full scope. But what it said was Project 2025 is a strategic initiative by the Heritage Foundation, a conservative think tank aimed at reshaping U.S. federal government policies and operations should a Republican win the 2024 presidential election. That has happened. While the project covers a wide range of policies, including immigration, it's not an official government plan, but rather a proposal outlining conservative priorities. Below is a list of. So the main points: border security, reduction of illegal immigration, legal immigration reform. So let me point this out. Prioritize merit-based immigration over family-based immigration. Merit-based versus family-based. Yeah. Reduce overall immigration levels, particularly low-skilled immigration. Reduce. Higher. Streamline and modernize the legal immigration systems to reduce backlogs and efficiency. So asylum and refugee speakers. Workplace enforcement. Expand E-Verify to ensure employers hire only authorized workers. Impose stricter penalties on businesses that employ undocumented workers. Let that marinate. And then, so there is deportation and removal. Increase deportations of undocumented immigrants. Restrict judicial discretion in immigration cases. Restrict
Judicial discretion. Yeah.
Ending DACA and temporary protections and national sovereignty. So reassert, sovereignty, whatever. So here they propose the actions on immigrants. Detention and removal. So increase detention, capacity to hold unauthorized immigrants pending removal. Expedite deportation proceedings to reduce the time immigrants spent in the U.S. without legal status. In other words, haraka upesi. Hauna mapepa, hauna this, wekwenda. Crackdown on visa overstays. Implement stricter tracking and enforcement mechanisms for individuals who overstay their visas. Restriction of benefits. You remember we had a show about restriction of benefits. Where was that? The public charge.
Mm-hmm. Public charge, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Hiyo ilikuwa and you see public charge issue I think started back in the 90s.
Yeah, but it wasn't really but 2016.
But they wanted to enhance it
in 2016.
Yeah.
With this guy.
Yeah.
Higher. So there's enhanced screening and vetting, strengthen background checks and vetting processes for visa applications and refugees, implement biometric entry-exit systems to track foreign nationals, targeting criminal immigrants. Number 6, ending birthright citizenship. Explore legal and administrative measures to end birthright citizenship for children of undocumented immigrants. And I think that's what you're talking about when you're talking about hata ukikuja na visa, visitor's visa.
So I think undocumented confused people like Indians for Trump. Because wao walikuwa najua
akina Vivek Ramaswamy and them.
Yeah. So wao walikuwa najua. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So wao walikuwa najua our cousins who come with H1Bs, those are not undocumented. But now they've all been swept in. Students, H1B, visitors, anyone who has any kind of temporary immigration.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. And this is just a start. I think they plan to go further. Even if you're holding American citizenship, let me tell you this.
Hey, wait, hold up.
Mi nasema, do not be too comfortable, because remember during the last term they were talking about denaturalization. So this is something, once they succeed on these small ones, you think they're going to stop? You think they're going to stop? They're going to start for coming for people to denaturalize watasema, oh, where iyo marriage yako, it was a fake marriage. So, denaturalize.
You remember, let me tell you, mine posted something. I think it was her, and it was something pertaining to how they were looking at immigrant visas that were issued from January 20th, the first swearing in 2020
In 2020, yeah.
to 2024.
Yeah.
They're looking at those visas and how they were issued.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna go back and they're gonna go back and look at them, and that is something that Trump said he would do.
Yeah. So that's where we currently are. And I just tell everyone, do not think hamtafikiwa. You know, like the people who think that we are safe, unaona saa kama Indians for Trump, they thought they were safe, but wamefikiwa.
Wanajua hawajui.
Yeah. You know, and me, I'm at a point where I just no longer have empathy for people, because in Kenya, we've had our own experience with people who supported Ruto. Walitusumbua. Now they're the ones who are crying the loudest. They're the ones who are crying the loudest. So
I'll just say this, my famu. What you wange?
Yeah. So unaona sasa vitu kama, you know, like programs kama, like when they start touching programs like Medicaid, there's a catastrophe that
Medicaid, Medicare, some of those programs that had been initially cancelled. And by the way, this 27-year-old chief of staff kanakuja kuongea na kiburi.
Oh no, you're talking about the press secretary.
Staff, the press secretary, sorry.
Yeah.
The press secretary kanakuja kanaongea na kiburi, kanakuja kuongea, hey, sijui what is that, the other sijui what. Whatever she said was taken to court. Because now, she's 27, but she's dealing with attorneys generals.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And her words were used against her. Mpaka that she got, but it was blocked. The thing is, being blocked is one thing. Executing is another. So there are people who right now are not going to get the necessary funding that they receive from as government help.
Yeah.
Watu kuna wamadha huko PWT, hizo matrailers na hawana meno wanalalamika. Yeah, so you can imagine PWT bila meno wanalalamika vile sijui hawatapata ma food stamps or whatever. And the funny thing is, there are some Africans and there's some Kenyans. I'll say this. I know of some Kenyans that I know personally who are always demonizing the people on welfare are black. So I'm like, bro, please.
Yeah.
Enda wangalie statistics.
No, welfare ni ya wazungu.
Ni wazungu.
Yeah, ni wazungu ndo wamejaa.
And in fact, I say, yes, your people are Kerea. Because I say, you know what, because you sometimes I think you consider yourself white. Your people are the ones who are more on welfare than the blacks are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Aya, sawa. You know, quite a number of comments coming in. Evans Marube anasema Trump is on offense, but he can't sustain the workforce, and huge company farmers will feel the heat and revolt. And then John Kipruto anatukumbusha Ted Cruz was born in Canada. Kanyarua anasema RCP has Trump 49.5 approval, 44.8 disapproval. I think that's a poll that Kanyaru is quoting.
Who's RCP now?
That sounds like a poll.
Republican Congress people.
And then John Kipruto has shared an article that's titled Trump Resumes Threat to Denaturalize Citizens. So whatever this guy says, I think it's just important that we believe him and take him seriously.
Oh yes, he's gonna do that.
And then hapa Wanjeri karibu sana anasema the executive order signed on 20th clearly stated that they will review all the visas and entries and immigration benefits issued during the Biden administration.
Let me tell you mine.
Yeah. And then Yakobo anasema he couldn't touch Medicare. He's a bully ni karata tu. And then Yakobo anasema uno Medicare isn't help. It is your right after 65. Medicaid. Oh, by the way, another thing, you know, like that I'd like to tell people, after 65, not everyone gets Medicare. After 65, you have to have worked in the US for at least 10 years. And that's something that some people are finding out the tough way. You have to have worked at least for 10 years. Yeah. So if you have
So
no
how
proof,
is the 10 years calculated? Are they calculating it by the hours, or they're calculating it by the actual time?
I have to go back and check.
You get what I'm saying?
I think there's a time calculation.
Because there's a time calculation normally
Yeah.
that if you work for that and you are doing X,
Yeah.
there's a certain period that they're saying
There's a
certain
period they
hours,
use,
right?
because for every W-2 that's filed, it has a number of hours you worked.
Correct. I
Yeah.
understand what you're saying, but if you're saying you have to have worked for 10 years, I could have been working part-time. Does that then make me qualify? Or are they saying it's 10 years, meaning they don't care about the hours? You just have to have been, assumption is that if you're in the country, then you worked for 10 years.
No, just being in the country doesn't mean you worked. But I think in how they calculate it, that's something that I would need to confirm.
Yeah.
It's something, but I know.
There's so much that.
But I know you have to have worked for 10 years for you to qualify for Medicare. And that's something that sometimes, especially people who came here at a more advanced age, maybe they are not familiar. They don't know.
Yeah.
So it's something that you'd want to find out.
Hebu give out that phone number. Kuna watu wanataka kupiga simu.
202-683-4570, press star 5. Na kama nataka kupiga simu
We've
mpige
got 17 minutes
we
because
have
we're
a
about
few
to wrap
minutes
up.
left. Yeah. Washeke anasema if they stop all those federal programs, even business people will feel the pain. Think of group homes that many Kenyans run, landlords that participate in Section 8 housing, daycares. And then hapa Doreen Florence anasema black people love good things, they will work before accepting welfare. And then Wanjeri anasema a lot of scientific data that advances public health and research of new medicines has been scrapped from the FDA and CPC, or maybe I think meant CDC websites, for those of us in the scientific community. Ama kama kuna CPC sijui.
I think she meant CDC.
She meant CDC, okay.
I think.
Yeah. The Tibor Dag anasema the 10-year requirement is 4 QCs a quarter. Define what QCs
QC,
a quarter
please.
is. Yeah, please define to us what that is. And then Yakobo anasema no records have to show 10 years or 40 quarters and paying social security taxes.
Okay.
And then Wanjeri anasema those retirement benefits are also pegged on amount earned. That's how people retire poor. Those who cheat on taxes and declare losses, it will catch up. So
I wanted to say this. Hii mambo ya scientific advances, this one what Indefatigable was talking about. There's a lot of research. A lot. And this research is not just YouTube people.
Mm-hmm.
Ni wengine.
Yeah.
There's a lot, blacks. You guys heard of what the soon and incoming cabinet secretary, or is it the cabinet guy of Human and Health Services? RFK was saying that blacks have got what? You heard what he said.
Yeah.
What did he say?
No, it was
in terms of we have got a higher immunity. Something along the lines of us, we've got a higher threshold of immunity or something compared to white people. So even our vaccines
have to be special.
Yes, Indefatigable, please. Ebu, I know she followed that thing and she cringed. Actually, we can Google as we wait for. We're supposed to be expecting a call, eh?
Yeah, I'm trying to post the number. The number is getting
202-683-4570.
Pole.
202-683. 4570. Press star 5 to speak. And we have a caller.
Yeah. That's resilient Angie, or Angie who is she's resilient, but she's not resilient.
She's Angie, but she's resilient.
Okay.
Thank you for calling the One Mike Show. 5476.
Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hi, this is Angie.
Hi, Angie.
Angie, where are you calling us from?
Hi. I'm calling you for, I don't want to say which state I'm in.
Aye.
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay,
That's fine.
no problem.
Okay.
No problem.
At least country.
I'm in the US.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, because even Nigeria has states. So we just
Yeah,
wanted to
you're
make
right,
sure.
you're
Okay.
right.
Yeah. Okay. Aya, talk to us, Angie.
Yep. I've been listening to you all. And for me, whenever I listen to people on the other side, it's like you're living in two alternate realities.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You all are sounding so delusional to me,
Okay.
and perhaps any other Trump supporter who would be listening is listening and thinking you guys are delusional. In terms of even the things you talk about, this Project 2025 issue, the racism, the fact that mnasemanga, I don't want to say this in English, so I'll just talk in Swahili. Venye mnasemanga ati Biden alishinda, and
Biden
we
alishinda.
already knew it.
No, when did we say that?
Alishinda in 2020, right?
Yes,
Yes,
Alishinda,
that's
yes.
right. Yes.
Mnasemanga he won, but now us guys already knew. In 2020, before the elections, we already knew this guy alikuwa na dementia. Lakini nyinyi, you didn't see that. And then now, 3 years and a half later, is when you're acting like you don't know. And as we knew 4 years ago.
Okay.
So now those types of things are the ones that make us think that you all are delusional. And then even just the thought of thinking that mzee got votes nyingi kushinda any other president in the history of this country.
Okay.
Mtu mwenye alicampaign kwa basement.
Okay.
Think about that. We all saw him kwa basement for 4 years, or rather, especially the last year, 2019. But there's just somehow, I don't know what is the problem, because it was so obvious.
So Angie, I'm trying to.
Jamaa kushinda.
Okay, Angie, I'm trying to understand one thing. So you're saying Biden did not win the 2020 elections because he had dementia and he was campaigning from a basement. Am I hearing you right? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, no, what I'm talking about is the delusion that you guys actually think alishinda.
No,
But-
no. We're asking about you. No, we're asking about you. So you're saying based on him having dementia and campaigning from a basement, we're talking about you, Sasa. You're saying based on that, he did not win the 2020 election. Am I hearing you right?
I'm saying it's delusional for you to think that you won.
No, we're
Even
not talking
those
about us. We're asking you. So yeah, so maybe we are delusional, okay, but we're asking Angie. We're asking Angie.
Yes.
Biden, based on him having dementia and campaigning from a basement. So it means
What I'm
that
trying to say is that my friend, is that the Jama did not campaign. He didn't campaign hardly. And
no,
Okay.
So you're saying he was rigged in. We're trying to understand you. So maybe yes. So maybe we are delusional. Maybe we are crazy. But we are trying to understand. We are trying to understand Angie, who is the one who's not crazy, is the one who's sober. In 2020.
oh my goodness.
In 20 no we are just trying to understand. We're just trying to understand you. So in 2020, based on Biden having dementia and campaigning from a basement, so
And you guys did not even know that.
so
At the time,
those no we're asking Angie. No, we are talking about Angie, not about us. So just tell us about Angie,
Okay.
because this call is about Angie. Angie is the one who we've been talking the whole time. So we want you to tell things from a perspective of Angie. Tell us, in 2020, Biden had dementia and he was campaigning from a basement, so he did not win that election.
Yeah, based on common sense and based on the fact that there is no way mtu anaweza
Okay.
kwa basement akicampaign
Okay.
na apate kura
Okay.
the most in history.
Okay.
81.
Okay.
Yeah, that's number 3 of the reason why naonanganika you guys are delusional.
Okay. Okay. Sawa.
And then there's this thing also of you guys acting ni kama Trump hajawahi kuwa president. It's like for 4 years he was not. Like this is the first time, and so you guys are acting, oh my goodness, what is he going to do? Fear mongering and all that type of thing. Let's talk.
No, Angie Ngoja. We were talking about what he's done. We are not talking about what he's going to do. We are talking about today. We are talking about what he's done. He's been in office for 2 weeks.
And prior to that, he was in office from 2016 to 2020.
Yeah, so we are talking about what he's done. We are not talking about, like we are talking about what he's actually done, including blaming DEI, Biden and Obama on the plane crash that happened yesterday. These are things he did. Ama, is that delusion?
It's delusional to act like somehow some project 2025 itatoka out of nowhere, and this guy was the president for 4 years, and we all know, and we saw his presidency, and the first 3 years were very successful. Everyone was doing well economically.
Who is everyone?
Very well economically.
Who is everyone?
And then all of a sudden now he's going to be someone else or what?
But let me ask you something, Angie. Let me ask you something. Did he or did he not ever deny about Project 2025?
First of all, even just as you said earlier, you said that Project 2025, it's a brainchild of some people in the Heritage Foundation.
Correct.
Who came up with their ideal, the ideal country they would like to see, based on their values.
Okay.
Based on their their values.
But has Trump ever denied?
Trump's agenda.
Has he ever denied? Hold on, let me ask you. Has he ever denied, or has he ever accepted Project 2025?
He denied. He denied that he's not part of that project because his agenda was Agenda 47.
But let me ask you something. Has footage ever come out of him saying he knows about and he actually appreciates and likes the guys of Project 2025? Because there's footage.
Because these guys are conservative.
So
he's also a conservative.
So how can he say that he doesn't know anything about it, but then turn around and say that he knows the guys and he likes what they have done?
Now, another thing.
He was. Okay.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Finish your thought.
Okay. Yeah, he was not part of the people who came up with that framework.
It doesn't matter.
Actually, he's even not. Personally, me, I agree 100% with that Project 2025 because of my Christian values. Because other than the immigration part of it, I agree with 100% of the rest of it because it stands for traditional family values, of which most Kenyans agree with those conservative values. And sometimes I wonder how come when Kenyans come to the US, you now change and you're no longer conservative, and now all of a sudden people have become liberals. So to me, when it comes even to that Project 2025, Trump is too moderate. Me, I would even go deeper in that thing.
Like what?
How would you go? Give us examples. Give
us examples. How would you go deeper?
For example, now things like AB, for example, right? You know what AB is?
No.
Tell us, please.
Oh God, I don't. Wacha niongee na Kiswahili. Kutoa mtoto akiwa kwa mimba.
Kwa via mimba.
Or abortion.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for me, I would say I wouldn't even agree with it at all. Personally. So based on my Christian values.
Okay.
But Trump is kind of like moderate about it, you know? Because anasemanga in case of incest and life of the mother or something like that.
So, but even so,
I didn't go.
So even that for you,
wamalize.
so even that for you would not, would not be a reason too.
So even in case of rape, in
Or
case
incest.
of incest, in case of hiyo hapo
For me,
it's not a reason.
So even a 10-year-old,
Yeah.
11-year-old,
You know, mtoto tu anini aende full term.
and a full term.
To me, mtoto ni mtoto na mtoto has no fault, has not committed any sin, has no fault. And for that, and this is a life. And what does the Bible say? In Jeremiah, it says that I knew you even before you were formed in your mother's womb. That's
Okay.
what God says about that child ambaye nyinyi mnaona si mtoto kwa sababu of the circumstances that led up to their being conceived.
Okay.
Unaona? Anyway, so for me, the point here is, I don't even want to go deeper into that, but the point here is, to me, even Trump is too moderate.
So if you have a 12-year-old daughter and she's raped and she becomes pregnant, you'll just ask her to complete the term because Jeremiah chapter fulani imesema hivi. Is that correct?
Yeah, because I'm following the Bible.
Okay, fair enough.
To me, it's the word of God.
Okay, ni sawa. Aya,
Yeah.
which other place would you go deeper in Project 2025 that Trump is going soft?
Nini traditional family values. Bibi moja, bwana moja na watoto.
Bibi moja.
Bibi ni mke. Bibi ni mke. Bwana ni mume na watoto. Traditional family values. Which is our values even in Kenya.
Okay, does this include is
polygamy?
Not necessarily polygamy, but just having, like other women on the side. Is that part of traditional family values?
No, that is not part of traditional family values.
Okay.
So you mean traditional Christian biblical values?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
So with Solomon having 700 wives, does that fit the bill?
We're in a new dispensation.
But
we're in a new dispensation. Kuna Old Testament and there's the New Testament. And the New Testament is a new dispensation.
But isn't it that the Lord came and Jesus came and said, out with the old, in with the new? But there are a lot of people who talk about Leviticus. They always go back to Leviticus in terms of,
which is the Old Testament.
Yeah, exactly. So if that is out, then okay, carry on. I just wanted clarity.
Okay.
What is the other one?
So my first point was the delusion we see on your side, and I'm sure even you guys find us very delusional. So in other words,
we are listening to you.
No, we are listening.
We are listening. So no, we've not called you delusional. You're the one who's called us delusional. We've not called you delusional.
And at least you're willing to talk to us.
Yes.
Which a lot of people are not.
And we accept.
So that's why we are here. We are just trying to
learn.
We are trying to learn. We are trying to understand. And like what we've talked about is what Trump has done. Not because you're talking about we're delusional based on we're saying he's gonna do. We are talking about what he's already done, what he's already said. Like nothing that we talk about.
Let me correct you a bit over there. I'm sorry for interrupting, but let me correct you. I didn't say that you are delusional. You're delusional. I said you all sound delusional to us.
Okay.
To the people on the right, you sound delusional. Like the whole thing, when I was listening to your program the whole time, I'm finding you guys exaggerating things so badly.
Like what did we exaggerate?
That's why I had to call in and say something.
Give us an example of maybe something that we exaggerated.
Yes.
Just one.
For example, hii kitu ya ngozi. Ya ngozi na identity politics.
Yes.
Kwa hivyo kwa sababu saa mimi ni mweusi nimekuja US, sasa ninasahau all my values zenye niliacha nyumbani na kuja huku ati na kwa sababu mimi ni mweusi na link up na ile party ambayo there's nothing about their values that match my own.
But umesema
kwa sababu mimi ni mweusi.
But Angie, umesema kuna kitu tuli exaggerate. So we are trying to find out what is it that we exaggerated. Unasema kuna vitu tumekuwa tukisema hapa leo that we exaggerated. What is it? Kwa
Vitu
sasa-
kama ati
Yeah.
vitu kama nini Trump atakuja after watu hata wako naturalized, vitu kaa hizo.
But amesema
Hiyo ni
hivyo.
exaggeration.
No, but
Amesema.
amesema.
Hajasema hivyo.
My dear.
Hajasema, mimi sijasikia.
My dear, let Google be your best friend. By the way, kama utuamini, just go on Google. Just go on Google and you will find it. By the way, everything tunasema.
Stephen Miller, who
In
was
fact-
was
in
a
fact-
spokesperson at some
In
point.
fact, hapa, like someone posted an article from USA Today, where, and there's also video. Just do a Google search. Maybe si ni waongo, but just do a Google search independently. Amesema hivyo, and not once.
Not twice.
He has said it multiple times.
In fact, in 2020, Stephen Miller had said, we are going to establish a denaturalization
Force. Now Stephen Miller
Stephen Miller.
is his top guy on immigration.
On immigration.
Yeah.
Not us.
Kumbuka hata issue of birthright citizenship.
It was him.
We were also being told that we're exaggerating what he said.
No.
But now he's put it on paper.
He's put it on
He's
paper.
already said it.
Yeah.
Isn't it vitu amesema, by the way?
Sasa,
Yeah. Yes.
shida ni
Carry
hii,
on.
shida
Yeah.
ni hii, shida ni hii. Melania ataangaliwa, the rest of us tukiangaliwa. Kuna vitu zingine, na ndio kwa maana tunasemanga the right is the party of common sense. Kwa sababu sasa, does it mean hata ataenda huyu Trump ataenda after his own wife? His wife is a legal immigrant. Actually, there is a difference between legal immigrant na illegal immigrant.
But that's why we are saying this is coming from his top immigration person and a spokesperson and somebody who's his speechwriter, not speechwriter, but a guy who is in the White House. That is coming from Stevie Miller, not
Na yeye
us.
mwenyewe, by the
It's
way,
Stephen
Trump
Miller.
mwenyewe, Trump himself has said it. And all you have to do,
Kuna
Angie,
vitu mingi.
by the way, you don't have to believe us.
Don't believe us.
Don't believe us.
It is there.
Just go. Unajua, we live in a day and age where these things can be checked. By the way, we have most of the people wale ambao wako kwa hii show yetu, if we make a slight mistake, we are usually fact checked live on air. Right now, if we had said something that was not factually true, trust me, hao watu wote hapo ambao wanatusikiza, they usually fact check us live on air.
Yes.
And we like that.
So we're not just saying about certain policies just for the sake of saying it.
Yeah.
We're not exaggerating,
Yes.
which is another one that we
I'm looking
exaggerated.
to it.
No. Please.
Yeah, take your
Stephen
time.
Miller.
I'll look into that.
Yeah.
I'll look into that.
Yes.
But
please.
also we also have to admit that the mainstream media, easy akina AP, even Google itself, there's a way the algorithm is set. Ukigoogle kitu wanakupatia information za left wing. You have to go to page 10 to see anything that is from the right wing media. So also let's be taking these articles with a grain of salt. Kuna ka exaggeration ukua ama vitu zinachukuliwa out of context. So it's also good to open your eyes to such things. Sometimes, even however much you are on the left, try and look at also what the right wing is saying, and let's meet somewhere in the middle.
Okay, so what if there's
I'll do my research.
Yeah, what if there's a video clip? Because we are talking about video clips of him saying this. We are not talking
I
about
will look for them.
And
Yeah.
Twitter statements,
Yeah.
screenshots of
on Truth Social.
on Truth Social
When he was back on Twitter.
Yes.
Before it became X.
of that being said.
Yes.
So
the
it's-
paper trail is there.
It's
Ye
there.
mwenyewe.
Receipts are there.
Ye mwenyewe. And by the way, if you don't like Google, there are so many other search engines. Kuna Bing, kuna ile inaitwaje ni DuckDuckGo ama GoGoDuck, inaitwaje ile ingine?
DuckGo.
DuckGo. Yeah.
That's the one I
DuckDuckGo.
normally use.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
So use it.
Use that
Very
one.
good. So use that one. Don't even use any other one.
Okay.
Yes.
And even if you have your own preferred right wing AI chat GPT version, use it. Like, by the way, easy V2,
Okay.
us hapa, like, we may have opinions, but we have fidelity to the
Yeah.
truth. The truth is very important to us. I know we live in a world where the truth has become like one of those things that's optional to a lot of people. But to us, whether it's someone we like or dislike, that is something that's very important to
Whether
us.
we disagree
That's
or
why,
agree.
kama kuna kitu tumesema that's factually incorrect, please be the first one kuingia hapo kwa comments now to correct, and we'll be happy to hear that.
Okay, thank you. I'll do that.
Sawa. So before I let you go, is there any one thing, any one good thing that has ever come from that other side that you talk about? Ama everything is just evil from that other side? Before we let you go, kitu moja tu.
Emwe.
Moja tu. Simbi. Moja tu.
I mean,
Not even 1.5.
Yeah. Hiyo ni rahisi sana.
I mean, imagine I can't think of anything, by the way. Na si kwa ubaya, but it's because
they're just evil.
I mean, we've been through a lot. Kwanzia siku za 2020, siku za C19.
Yeah.
Paka hizo mandates. Weaponization of the judiciary against political opponents. I never ever imagined I would see it in America. Nimeiona.
Okay.
Mandates zingine azieleweki, even people are losing their jobs.
So there's a lot of, but tumekuuliza one good thing, one moja tu.
Actually, no, let's go to the weaponization of the judiciary. Just one example.
I mean, if the things that had happened in here, that happened to DJT here in the US had happened in Kenya to Raila.
So DJT.
Atungekuwa na nchi.
So
we would not be
DJT.
having a country today.
Okay.
So can I ask about the the guy from, is it New Jersey? Menendez.
The Democratic senator.
Yeah.
The one who was sent to jail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that weaponization too?
I haven't followed his case. I know he was charged and he was found guilty, and I think he's going to jail.
But
I haven't really followed.
Isn't that
I haven't
weaponization
really
though?
followed.
Okay. But
I mean,
Angela nimekuuliza tu moja. Yaani umeshindwa
Moja
example moja tu. Moja.
Moja, nothing more, just one.
Okay, let's just say, wacha tu nitafute tu kitu tu. But it's hard. It's a difficult task you've just given me. But let me just look for something. Okay, they exist. They're breathing. They are there.
Okay.
It's the other party that people can choose from.
Okay.
Next Friday.
Okay. Join us again next Friday.
Join us next Friday then. Utupatie hiyo. Hiyo ni homework.
Hiyo moja. Hiyo unapatia whole week.
5476.
Yeah.
But I've already given you something. The fact that the party exists and it gives an illusion of democracy.
We are talking about a positive thing. One. We'll give you 1 week. We'll give you 1 week.
1 week.
Yeah. Give me 1 week and then I'll think about it.
Okay, thank you so much, Angie.
Thank you so much, Angie.
Thanks for calling in.
Na bado unakata kutuambia state yako ama unaona tutakureport kwa wale watu?
What crop do they grow there?
Niko mahali south. And also, by the way, to bring me to a point of hii maneno ya racism yenye mlikuwa mnaongelea earlier, mimi sijawahi iona. Na nimekuwa south for a long time.
Which south?
Sasa south wapi? Unajua south inaweza kwa Southern California.
Inaweza kwa
Southern Maryland,
inaweza kwa south of the border,
Brazil,
inaweza kwa
kuna kama beach hivi hapo karibu.
Petersburg, inaweza kuwa Florida.
Kuna maji hapo karibu. Maji ya bahari.
It could be Southern New
York,
York,
kwa Savannah, inaweza kwa Alabama. Inaweza kwa
tuambie to the general area, si lazima utaje state, general area. Ama tupatie hint.
Hint.
Already nishawapatia hint, since south is enough. Just know it, I mean, the southern part of America wanasemanga kuna a lot of racism na mimi sijaiona na nimekuwa huku decades and I've never seen.
Okay.
Because normally people see something when they are looking for it. Sasa unatafuta there's another experiment, red jeep experiment. I don't know that you guys have heard of it. Whereby we were told in a seminar to look for red jeeps. Prior to that, I hadn't seen any red jeep. But when I was told to look for it, I was seeing a red jeep everywhere I turned. And that's the same concept with this
So the red jeep you are seeing, was it an imaginary one or a real red jeep?
No, she was seeing real ones.
It was a real. It was we went for a seminar. We were given homework to look for red jeep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The whole idea was that if you're looking for something, you will get it.
Okay. So, and it means and does it also mean that if you don't see something, it doesn't exist?
I mean, it could mean that. I need to think about that.
By the way,
we'll talk about it next week.
She could also be white, talking very nice Swahili.
That is possible. That is possible. That is very possible.
Okay.
Thank you, Angie.
Very, very possible.
Okay.
Yes.
Angie, next week.
Next week, same time, same place.
All right.
Same. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, we've got 2 callers. So what are we going to do?
Okay, let's pick
Okay,
here because we are
let's-
already
yeah.
and our callers yani mbona
Kwa nini
wanangoja mpaka
mnangoja mpaka
mwisho?
last minute? Na mlikuwa
Okay.
hapa na zidi.
Haya.
Aya. 9737. Thank you for calling the One Mic Show. After this tunamaliza.
Yeah, tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Huyo anasikiza show alafu sasikia.
Reduce volume.
No, anasikiza show.
Yeah? Okay.
9737 going once.
So what are we going to do? Okay, let's speak here because we're
Aya.
Reduce volume. Reduce
No, hiyo
volume.
No, that
nimefunga.
one. They
2151. Thank you for calling the One Mic Show. 2151.
Name and where you're calling from.
mi ni Kaniaru wa
Kaniaro wa.
Aya, Kanyaru. Tell us where you're calling from. Kanyaru wa.
Kaniaro wa.
He is calling from Canairo.
me I'm in Utah.
Okay.
Karibu.
Kanyaru, how did you hear about the One Mic Show in Utah?
Wow.
I just came across it on Facebook.
Okay.
Hiyo ni sawa.
Okay,
It's
good.
all good.
Aya, talk to us, Kanyaru.
Talk to us, boss.
Tell us what you thought about what Angie said and what you thought about the show.
So, first of all, before we forget, I'm here Angie and EDM because we agree with her. I
Okay.
agree with her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm on the right. I'm on the right, and if someone wants to call me an extreme right, mimi anaweza niita.
Ni sawa.
Okay.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Actually, usually I take it as an honor.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah. Even though I think it's attributed to white folks, but ideologies, those wings have to do with ideology more than skin color.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So anyway, so a lot of things Angie amesema I agree with,
Mm-hmm.
and people who don't really understand the American political landscape don't realize that this country is split into 2 halves ideologically.
Mm-hmm.
But from my side, I believe there are more conservatives than there are liberals.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that the left holds a lot of the means of communication. For example, CNN has been around forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
NBC, ABC, CBS, NPR, PBS, all those have been around forever. And those are mostly left-leaning networks.
Okay.
And I would bet most of you listen to those on a main basis.
Oh, and what made you have that assumption?
Because I've been around Kenyans, I've been around Africans, I've been around foreigners. It's not an assumption, it's an observation.
So
It's an observation.
So you're gonna paint all of us with a broad brush that those are the only places.
I'm not painting,
where we get-
I'm just making an observation. I could be wrong, but if we did a study, we'd come to that conclusion. I strongly believe that.
So out of curiosity, when do you think Fox News was founded?
In the 90s.
Okay.
And when was CNN?
I don't remember the exact year.
No,
but
that's
it's
fine.
in the 90s.
And what about CNN?
Is that correct? Is it in the 90s?
What about CNN? No, just what about CNN?
Is it in the 90s? Was formed around the 90s.
Fox News was founded in 96. And CNN?
96, okay. CNN has been there forever. I don't know, maybe 60s. I don't remember. But it's been there.
No.
1980s.
1980s, yeah.
But carry on.
1980s, right?
Yeah, CNN is 1980s, yeah.
1980s.
Yeah.
How about CBS and NBC and ABC?
Those
have been there.
Those have been there way before. Those have been local
Exactly.
US markets.
Exactly. Exactly. But
Early
those
1900s.
lean left. They lean left.
Okay. And this is based on?
Yeah. If you watch. You don't need to. You don't need to do a study. Just watch.
What if you don't watch?
Okay, so for those of you who are on the enlightened side, what media
No,
do you
I didn't say that.
no
I didn't say on the enlightened
okay, because you're saying, you
I
know,
didn't say
like,
that.
okay, so okay, then for okay, what
So what I'm trying to say is-
what media houses would you recommend for people to watch to get
Apart from CNN and CBS. and
besides those
other
ones, which ones would you recommend to get the right information?
So the ones that I just pointed out, those are nowadays referred to as legacy media.
Okay.
So they've been there forever.
So
Right.
CNN,
So
Fox,
there's new-
CBS. Is
Yeah.
Fox
No,
legacy
no.
media?
Fox is not legacy.
Okay.
Fox is not legacy, but it's in there between. But it's not legacy.
Okay.
Okay, but where should people go for information?
So let me. Here's where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
So I forget what you're saying. But anyway, so what I'm suggesting is people should have a balance. Okay.
Okay.
Because of the behavior of those legacy medias being biased, the new medias have come up, such as Fox,
Mm-hmm.
Newsmax,
Mm-hmm.
Breitbart,
Mm-hmm.
Heritage Foundation. I mean, not Heritage Foundation. Gateway Pandit.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you probably don't even know those.
No,
Right?
no,
Because
of course we know them,
Yeah.
but
You guys only know Fox. You guys only know Fox.
no, are you?
Because that's all
Is that an assumption you're making, or are you speaking fact?
No,
that we only know
are you
Fox.
familiar with? Are you familiar with Newsmax?
Of course.
Are you familiar with One American News?
Yeah.
Are you
So
familiar
are
with
familiar.
Breitbart?
But all
By the
those
way, let me just tell you something, Kanyaru. These are medias that we watch, just for your information. That's why I'm saying sometimes these assumptions that you come with are very dangerous.
Don't assume.
Don't.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay,
because
well,
we'll now
let's
start
take
discussing
that
shows on those networks
Okay.
that you've mentioned.
Blaze-
But I'll tell you this.
Blaze
I'll tell
with
you this.
Yeah.
It might be an assumption, but there's some truth to it. And here's what I mean by that.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, you're in the media industry. So you are expected to know your opponent, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're expected to know the counter view of what you're presenting on air, right?
Mm-hmm.
But usually when you come on air, you don't present those views to your audience. Your audience will probably not know about Newsmax, One American Media, Gateway Pandit, Breitbart. Your audience might not even know that. For example, if I ask you, what's the alternative of Yahoo? Not Yahoo. YouTube. What's the new alternative to YouTube?
What, TikTok?
No.
What?
Truth Social.
See, now if I told you, you think I'm assuming that you don't know. I know you don't know. Most
No, we
likely.
don't.
Is
No,
there
we don't.
Anyone in your panel knows the alternative, the new alternative to YouTube?
No, you tell us. We
No,
don't
you tell
know.
us. We don't know.
Rambo.
Okay.
Okay, we'll go
Yeah.
check it out.
Yeah. Rambo is a new alternative.
How,
for
how
YouTube.
long has it
And
been
the
out
reason
there?
why- About maybe 5 years.
Okay.
Okay.
Very
Okay,
new.
we'll go check
and
it
the
out.
way Rambo came about is because conservatives were being censored on YouTube. So
Okay.
they formed their own platform. So Rambo is the place you go when you get banned on YouTube because of airing your conservative views.
Okay.
They ban you on YouTube, you go to Rambo.
Okay. All right.
So,
So
anyway,
yeah. So what do
So
I
what I'm
expect?
try- what
What do
I'm
I
trying-
expect to find in Rambo that maybe is not available on YouTube, for example?
What you find in Rambo is mostly conservative content because it has been suppressed on YouTube.
So are we talking about opinion content, or what kind of content are we talking about?
Or factual content.
I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
For example, during COVID, there's many things you're not allowed to say about COVID, right?
Okay.
And some of those things were factual, they were true. But if you
like,
say
give
them
us an
on
example.
YouTube, we'll ban it.
According
give
to
us
who?
an example.
Factual and whatever, according to who?
No, but give us an example so that we can understand.
Yes.
You know, like what was it that was
give you an
not allowed?
example.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you an example. Hydroxychloroquine tunakunywanga malaria in Kenya, in Africa, right? It was treating COVID.
Okay.
It was known. It had been tested. It was treating COVID, but you are not allowed to say that it treats COVID. Even right now, I'm not sure Facebook would be willing for me to say that on the Facebook platform.
Okay, so is this according to doctors or according
Data
to
and
you?
scientists?
It's according to doctors. It's been there for many. What's this other medicine that's used for animals to treat horses?
Let me guess. Let me guess. Ivermectin.
Joe Rogan, that the one that Joe Rogan talked about.
It could be ivermectin. There's another one. I'm not sure if it's ivermectin.
It's ivermectin.
Or
It could
there's
be.
another one. But anyway, so these medicines were new they were known to treat COVID.
Okay.
But because of the dominating narrative from the left, people who came out and said these things were banned on Facebook, on YouTube, on Google, on many other platforms.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they resorted to Rambo and many other conservative platforms, right? So and what Angie was saying is, when you listen to people on the left that only repeat what they've heard from the left. By the way, we listen to the left. We listen to CNN. We listen to ABC, CBS.
We also listen to the right. We also listen to the right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but most of your audience is not aware of this balance. That's what I'm trying to share here. Most of your audience is not aware of this counterbalance.
But why are you making that assumption? You see, and this is part of the problem, Kanyaru. No, Kanyaru, ngoja kidogo, because we gave you a chance. You came and made an assumption about us. So now you're also making an assumption about our audience. In fact, our audience are the ones sometimes who share with us, you know, like information that's coming from the right. So that's where I say, and this is one problem that I would never paint everyone on that side with a broad brush, but one assumption that whenever people talk about people they perceive to be on, because that's also a perception, people they perceive to be on the left, they make this assumption that they only watch CNN and legacy media. They make this assumption that they never listen to what comes from the right-hand side. That's a very dangerous assumption, you know, because we hear that multiple times, and our audience, the ones that you're talking about, they're the ones who share, you know, like, listen, this is what Newsmax is saying. This is what Fox News is saying. That's why I say, you know, like, it's good because we are very interested. Up on the One Mic show, we have fidelity to the truth. We are very interested in the truth, and that's why we are open to being fact-checked. If there's something we've said that's, you know, like incorrect or false information, we are very open to being corrected. But then again, these assumptions that you guys have not listened to what the right is saying, that is a very, very dangerous assumption.
And then also you cannot authoritatively say that whatever we're listening to is not right. But whatever you are or whatever is going on, let's say, for example, on Rumble, is the truth.
Oh, okay, so I'm responding to people.
Yes.
So here's the thing. I did not say whatever you're listening is wrong and whatever I'm listening is right. I said we need to strike a balance. To have both points of view.
Okay, fair enough.
Fair
so
enough.
that we have a balance we are balanced in a manner that we are informed, right? But now, about the assumption, it's not an assumption. For the most part, it's not an assumption. It's an observation.
Okay.
I have been around. Just here in America.
Yes.
If I work in a Kenyan house, yeah, and they're watching news, they're most likely to be watching CNN or MSNBC.
Okay.
I've been around Kenyans. I'm not making. This is not an assumption. This is an observation.
Okay.
Big difference, right?
Yeah.
There's a time when you went to the airport and the networks that were at the airport was only CNN.
Okay.
Or MSNBC.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So unless now you go to a community where there is more conservatives, right? But in major cities, we're talking about major cities, Atlanta, Houston, Philly, whatever, you know the major cities, LA. You're even afraid to turn on Fox if you're a business. Because the people on the left who claim to be tolerant are not. They're not tolerant.
But
that's why you saw a lot of Obama bumper stickers, but Trump MAGA was not allowed. Your car will get a scratch. Your car will be broken into if you have a MAGA sticker, and you cannot. You do that observation. It's very hard. You have to go to the country to see people putting on MAGA hats. But in major cities, you can't.
It goes both ways. No, it goes both ways.
But wait, Kanyaru, we live in a city.
No.
We live in a city.
No,
Kanyaru, wait. We live in a city where we see MAGA hats. Come to DC. Have you been to DC? We welcome you to DC.
Okay.
Where we see MAGA hats and no one ever bothers them.
So now the MAGA movement is emboldened by Trump.
No, we are not even talking about now. We've lived in this area for a long time.
Go ahead.
The last 4 years, you were not allowed to. You had to almost hide, right? To avoid association with MAGA. And we experienced it. But after Trump's win, and when you see people like Elon Musk and all these other billionaires coming around Trump, Americans who are silent are now emboldened. That's why you probably now will see more MAGA hats than you saw in the last 4 years. So yes, you will see more MAGA hats now than you did the last 4 years.
Okay.
So what I was trying to say is, yes, we do have this country is divided into two, but I'll tell you, the silent Americans, the majority are the silent people that you think don't exist. And that's how Trump came to win. Now, on Angie's point, I agree with her about the 2020 election. I agree with her about Trump's presidency.
So wait a minute. So wait, before you move, you said you agree with her about the 2020 election. You mean that what exactly does that mean? Does that mean Biden did not win the 2020 election? Is that correct? Is that what you're saying?
I didn't say that. I'll avoid that because I still live in that fear.
No. There's no fear here.
It's very simple.
There's no fear here. We are just trying to make sure we are getting to correct.
It's not you guys. It's not you guys. No, I'm not afraid of you guys.
Okay.
I don't want to be quoted. Yeah, because the people on your side are very intolerant about other people's opinions.
So wait. So you don't want to be quoted?
I cannot even believe.
No. Let me make sure I'm getting this clear. You don't want to be quoted that Biden did not win the 2020 election. You don't want to be quoted saying
there was a lot of irregularities.
Okay, but
a lot.
So there's a lot of irregularities. So you're saying most likely Biden did not win the 2020 election. Is that correct?
There's a big cloud. There's a big cloud on the 2020 election.
Yeah, there's a big cloud. But you're saying, are you definitively saying that he did not win?
Yeah.
You're not allowed to say that.
No,
You're not
no,
allowed to say that.
We are. This is our show. We are allowing you to say it.
Yeah, it's free speech. And
Yeah,
after,
it's free speech.
After all,
That's the reason why you called.
you're emboldened.
By the way, the left does not believe in free speech. They talk about it like they believe in it, but they don't.
No, but you're on the One Mic show. You're not on the left. You're on the One Mic show.
Yeah,
So this is a free speech show.
I'm on a platform that's been proven to be leftist.
Okay.
Okay,
That's fine.
All right, but you're saying the left. You're saying our platform is leftist, but at the same time you're saying the left doesn't believe in free speech.
No, not your platform. The Facebook. I'm saying Facebook.
But in but in Facebook, kiss the ring.
Not your platform. Dude, let me ask you a question. Do you remember the hashtag Stop the Steal?
Yeah, I remember the hashtag.
Yeah.
Do you remember the hashtag?
Yeah.
Do you know Facebook banned that hashtag? Why? If there's free speech, why did they ban that hashtag?
Yeah, the same reason they banned Free Gaza. You know, like the same reason they Facebook has banned a lot of hashtags.
Let's leave the free Gaza. We can have a conversation about free Gaza, right?
Yes, we
but
can.
I'm talking about stop the steal. Why
Free
was
Gaza?
that hashtag removed?
No.
Don't-
So
So
let's say
about Free Gaza.
Hold on. Let me finish my question.
Okay, sir. And not to
My
rush you,
question
but I
is-
think we need to wrap it up.
Okay, that's fine.
Yes, please.
so, but we're giving you a
banned-
chance. We're giving you a chance.
Stop the steal.
Yeah.
Yeah? They
Wait.
banned stop the steal because there's no free speech. Now you can say the same about Gaza because there's no free speech.
Okay. So let's say there's no free
Speech is
speech,
controlled.
but on the One Mic show we have free speech. Did Biden win
Yeah, but One Mic
the
show-
2020 election?
One might show. One might show is on Facebook.
No,
One might
we're
show
on
the
multiple platforms, by the
We're
way.
also on YouTube.
We're on multiple. We're also on TikTok. You know, so
If it was on Rambo, maybe I would engage.
okay. If it was on Rambo, but you're already engaging.
You choose to engage.
Yeah, to an
You choose
extent.
to engage.
Yeah.
To an extent. To an extent.
Okay.
Let's wind it up. You guys.
Okay. Now, one last thing before we let you go. Is there one positive thing from that other side? One, not two.
That was the first point I was going to start with, and I would say there is positive things, but it's hard to
Just one. Just one.
Very hard to come up
It's
with
hard, but one.
Yeah.
Just one.
Just one.
Not two, not three, just one.
Just one.
I mean, people do good on both sides.
Just one.
No, not both sides. We're asking
Just
about that
one.
other side. Just one. Moja tu.
Moja tu.
In what form?
Whatever
Anything,
in whatever
in any form.
Just one.
Just one.
So maybe say they give charity.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
Fair enough.
That's fair enough.
Fair enough. Okay.
I mean, they care about immigrants.
Okay. Fair
That's
enough.
true.
Fair enough.
But there's a lot of talk and no action.
Okay. All right.
But at least it's
But
there.
we asked for positive.
Yeah, that's for positive.
Positive.
Because-
Negative, we know you have tons. You have a whole book.
Yeah.
But we only asked for positive. We've given you a chance
Yeah.
to
So
do the negative. So anyway, asante sana. Next week we will actually this year I think
Bring the
we're
same
gonna
energy.
organize a show if you're willing to come
And Angie.
on video. You and Angie, you can come together and we just have a conversation. So umesema there needs to be balance.
ask Angie to DM me so that we can reorganize.
Okay.
Lakini akidm yani muongee tu mambo ya simu msianze kuongea story
please.
ingine.
Yeah, don't,
Sima
no,
stories.
Yeah,
no,
sima stories
no
ingine.
matchmaking.
Yeah, no matchmaking unless you're paying us.
Mi niko Angie yuko sawa.
Yuko sawa. Itabidi tulipe. Hapo sasa tutakutumia invoice.
Because this matchmaking we need to
we need to kula kakitu. We
Yes.
need a kabahasha.
Yes.
Eh?
But then on a serious note,
Yeah.
I respect your show. You guys are doing a great job.
Oh, thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.
And honestly, I can say you guys striving to be objective,
Thank you so much.
which is a good thing. So that's very much welcome in our community. We
Okay.
need that.
Aya, sawa
Wow.
sawa.
Thank you so
So,
much.
so,
2151.
so on that note, I think tutaongea na Anji.
Tunaongea na
Lakini
Angie.
kabahasha pia usiogope.
Usiogope kutengeza.
Usiogope kutengeza kabahasha tukifanya hiyo connection.
By the way,
Eh?
by the way, muandike hiyo namba yenu somewhere on your screen.
We are gonna do that.
We'll do
That's
that.
something that we are gonna
We'll
do.
work on it.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
A cash up handle na nini tutawekea yote and then muwe mtatusukumia kakitu pia ndo tuweze kufanya more balance shows.
Tell your viewers to watch Newsmax, Breitbart, Gateway Pandit, Rambo, One America.
Okay. So are those platforms not biased?
Just for balance.
Or for balance?
They counter. They counter.
Okay,
sir.
Okay,
They counter,
fair
yeah.
enough.
They're counter platforms. Yeah.
Fair enough. Do you watch ile ya Cuomo inaitwaje? News. No, is it called News? It's not Newsmax. It's called
I don't know what it's called.
there's another show where Cuomo, Bill O'Reilly, they mix up people. They mix up people from both sides. Yeah.
I haven't watched that yet.
Yeah.
By the way, mko mnajua what is this? Hii ingine ilibani Pala. Mko mnajua Pala?
Pala nimesikia. Yeah.
Nimesikia.
Pala ilibaniwa after the 2020 election.
Oh damn. Okay. Aya, sawa. So hiyo haiko.
Yeah.
But Rambo.
Pala was a substitute, I guess, for maybe Facebook.
Okay. Aya.
Yeah, anyway. Yeah, so anyway.
Na Truth Social.
Just saying.
Uko Truth Social.
Deep.
By the way, here's a funny thing. Now I'm on Twitter, lakini on Truth Social iliban sijui kwa nini.
Walikuban? Na wewe uko saidi yao?
Imagine.
He was not conservative enough.
You are not conservative enough.
No, maybe I was mistaken. but here's the thing.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. See,
Yes.
I'm not in a hurry to be on there. There are just too many platforms to be active on.
Okay.
Sawa basi. 2151, thank you very much.
Kanyarua. Asante
Kanyarua.
sana.
You just thinking, I'll get back.
Okay.
Aya, we're about to wrap this puppy up.
Is that it?
There's another call over here.
We, ay. Sasa.
You want to give the caller 3
Okay,
minutes?
let's give
2
them
minutes.
like 2 minutes.
2
Yeah.
minutes.
9737, thank you for calling the One Mike Show. 9737.
Hello.
Name and where you're calling from.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good. This is Wanjeri calling from Boston. I've been on hold for like an hour.
Hey, relax.
Hey,
Let me
Wanjeri.
tell you minor, relax.
Aya, Wanjeri, give the
Aya,
rebuttal.
please.
Leo tumekuwa na our conservatives, we've given them the airtime, we've been fair to them. Sasa issue the rebuttal.
3
Wanjeri.
minutes,
Yeah.
kinda. Then you can hang up after.
I'm not going to address their stuff.
Okay,
I'll
sawa.
just talk about
Okay.
Project 2025 because I
Yes.
think the previous caller was very keen to say that she likes everything in Project 2025.
Yes.
And I'll just focus on one thing
Yeah.
because I am directly in that industry, and that is public health and how medicines come to medicines come to be. So one of the things that they have done is they've scrapped a lot of scientific information that relates to the effects of public health, pollution, cancer, HIV, all those things on minorities and black people.
Mm-hmm.
For those of us who are in the biotech industry, we do a lot of research. There's so much scientific data, it's undisputed, of how diseases affect different ethnicities differently. There are drugs approved by the FDA right now that actually have very clear contraindications, even for black people, right? So there's an initiative, the FDA worked really hard to make sure that when drugs come to the market, they have been tested on different ethnicities because there's actually a huge difference, whether it's in oncology, or in even rare diseases, genetic disorders, things associated with pollution. So when these people cheer that Project 25, whatever the heck it's called, is effective, they actually don't realize it's also harming their public health. It's going to harm their health outcomes. And it's all nice and dandy to be, punching down on LGBTQ community and all those things, and gay people or minorities or whoever you think is less than. But actually the harm that is going to happen to the rest of us, even those people who voted for him, is going to be way much greater. And so I'm all these guys calling in, we can disagree on politics, but I think we should not disagree on science, because there's so many people who have an opinion about vaccine, but I've never had anybody go and challenge oncology. If your doctor tells you have leukemia, nobody suddenly goes and tells the doctor, this is the oncology therapy that I want, this is the concoction of medicine that I want. Funding for cancer has been stopped. All cancer research, which most of it is funded by NIH through HHS, has been stopped. And cancer has increased in communities. So I challenge all these people who are really cheering 2025 project, whatever, to actually step back. And that guy is saying we don't read, people get their news sources from. I'm one of those people who never get my news from the TV. I read print media, I read conservative news, I read from everybody. And actually, what I would tell people to do is actually stop watching the news and read what's happening. If you actually read the newspapers, even like Wall Street Journal, which is very conservative, you'll actually find out there's so much more happening besides what's making the news. Yep. Good example, the FAA, like the whole thing with the FAA crash, it would not have come. It happened on inauguration, but it didn't get attention because immigration was so big, and the Jan Fixers, what it's called, whatever they got, clemency, I don't know what it's called. But other
pardons.
Pardons.
The pardons, yes, sorry, the pardons. So many other big announcements and big executive orders got lost in the shuffle. So this guy, I would challenge anybody right now, don't even watch the news, read the news, because there's so much that is actually happening that is not making the news, because it would be so overwhelming. And that's all I have to say. But really, all these people cheering for Project 2025 is going to come back to bite you. And we don't have to agree on politics, but let's at least agree on facts. Let's agree on science. Let's agree on public health, because those are fundamental things, and they don't choose race, they don't choose religion, they don't choose political party or whatever. So that's all I have to say. Thank you, guys.
Before you roll out, I think we need to have a show soon, next with her.
Yes.
Pertaining to science.
Absolutely.
Simple.
Yeah. Because Wanjeri has a way of breaking this down for the lay person to understand.
Yes.
Because most people are scientifically challenged.
Yes.
But Wanjeri has a way of breaking it down.
Especially me.
In a way that that you're even thinking, oh wow, like I didn't know that. So I think that's a very important.
It is very important.
Yeah.
So she'll teach us how to use test tubes.
And
that too.
And burettes.
Okay. And burettes.
Yeah.
And pipettes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yes, I think it is important.
Yes, very important.
Thank you, Wanjeri.
So Wanjeri, thank you so much. And
but
before you go,
before
you go, Wanjeri, duka ya raidhi. Why can't they just write?
Don't answer that.
Duka la bei nafuu.
Well, don't.
What is duka ya raidhi?
Kamweria terere.
Surely.
Oshi adhiete goshera.
I saw that.
It was in Muranga, yeah. In fact, it was 100 meters from her house.
But yes, it was in Muranga, yeah. It was in Muranga.
Are you from Muranga?
No, he happened.
No.
But I was there.
No.
But I was there.
Are you from Muranga?
No, but I was there.
Where? Wajeri?
I was there.
I have a simple question for you, Ali.
Thank you.
Did you understand the message?
I got it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. There you go.
But I was really impressed. The last time I was in Muranga County, I think was some 6 years ago, 7 years. very big changes.
But have you
know.
seen the guy from Bomet? The guy from
Professor? Wow, that guy's been injecting
He's
proper.
injecting?
He's been injecting proper. And then he's been comparing to the successful projects in places like Murang'a County and then going back
to
showing Bomet.
Bomet. Whatever.
That guy has been injecting proper.
Watch inject. Wajeri, nderegio. Na nera hivi.
Thank you.
Nera hivi.
All right.
Kuona usiku ya raidi.
Wow.
Na wahenga walinena kile cha na mwanzo hakina budi kuwa na mwisho. Meli
You are the
imetia.
last party in the conference.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wahenga walinena kile cha na mwanzo hakina budi kuwa na mwisho. Meli imetia nanga.
Nanga.
We are about to wrap this puppy
Puppy
up. Kadhe. But the boss, more than Jesus is Lord. Nyasai, Omera, what is password?
I don't even know how I can answer you. This has been an interesting show, and clearly, tumetuanga time. Yani, Ali,
Yeah, I know.
how did we get to this time?
Blame it on what were Trump.
Na wanangoja
They call it
mpaka
the wrong time.
Wanangoja injury time.
mpaka 10:52.
Yeah, wanangoja injury time. Hiyo nimeona ni strategy wako nayo.
Ni tactic.
Yeah. In fact, I think
It failed in 2020.
yeah. In fact, I think Angie na sijui lakini unajua Kaniero amesema tumpatie DM ya Angie. So I think
Hapo
maybe
iko kitu.
hapo
Hapo
Unaona,
iko kitu.
Yeah.
unaona, umesoma hiyo nini?
Umesoma 18.
hapo there's some Magalav.
Umesoma 18 hapo.
Hapo mimi nimeona kuna potential of Magalav.
Anyway, it's been real. Asanteni. Thanks for, as usual, to our fans. As you guys can see, this is only show number 2 of the year. So if we are going at this rate, I think we're going to even need to add more hours that we can give to ourselves for the show. But with that said, thanks to our listeners, to our new listeners, to all our peeps, and a big, I would say, tunatoa is it what rambi kwa familia ya wale ambao walianguka na ndege ama Ali, how would you say it exactly in Oswahili, because that tragedy really hit home, and to be honest, with the travel that some of us put in, at least that I have in the last little bit, that could have been me. I came in that airport, and it's so sad. And travel a lot through DCA. It's, you know, I mean, if I'm not traveling DCA, I'm doing Baltimore. But DCA is, you know, it's one of those airports that I'll end up traveling from just because of proximity and things like that. And it's very sad to see such a thing happen. I know there's more to come out of this, but we are with the families, we support, we you know, we're in sympathy. As well as some of us are personally feeling it because we also live in this area. So I'm sure there's more to come of this, and this is going to affect air travel, to be honest. I don't know how they're going to be doing things, but it's going to affect air travel, especially in this year. And I suspect that they're probably going to reduce the amount of flights that are coming out of Reagan. But with that said, we'll see you guys next week. Next weekend is Super Bowl.
Is it this weekend or next
No,
weekend?
next.
Next
No,
weekend,
it's
yeah.
next.
It's
Yeah.
next weekend is Super Bowl.
Philly all the way, goddamn it.
So yes, for me, I'm Philly all the way. I'm sure there's some other people who are feeling a different way. But yeah, me, I'm Philly all the way, and it's sad. You know, the things that are happening around, and or should I say the delusionality or lack of delusions that, or the different ways people look at things, the same thing, and you're looking at it, both of you, and one is seeing a circle and the other is seeing a triangle. It's so interesting. And that's just basically the human and how things go around. What were PG County? We have a special election. Go vote. You know what time it is. Make sure your candidate gets in. And I'll say it for you. Make sure it's a black person. Ujipange hivyo. I'll say it for you that way. With that said, thanks to our listeners, and have a good week. See you guys next week.
All right, thank you so much, DJ Mosh Fire. Yeah, this is one of those unexpected shows. You know, it took a different turn. Watu wa Maga walikuja tena. You know, this watu wa Maga, me I love Kenyan Magas because huwa wanakaa wana assess situation, wanaona okay, this is a safe zone, wacha tuingie tuone vile kutaenda. But it was very interesting how, you know, Kanyaru moved from accusing us from being leftists, alafu baadaye akarudi akadecide we're actually objective. But that's a good thing about this show, because I think most of the time, especially the Trump supporters, they come here expecting a fight. But we're not here to fight. We are here, this is the people's Kamkunji. You know, like, it's important for the people who are listening to this, whether it's here in the US,
Yes.
or people back home, to understand kuna Wakenya huku pia ambao ni watu wa MAGA. You know, so, and that's why we're the people's Kamkunji. I think we're the only space where this can happen, because I can understand where some of them are coming from.
Don't think
Yeah.
we are the only space.
We are the only space. I can understand where some of them are coming from, where they feel like if they try to go to a platform, they'll be shut down. But sisi hatuko hivyo. We want to hear. Now, 2 people came today and they said that Biden lost the 2020 election. And we gave them the chance to say that. So yeah, so that was very amazing. And to our loyal listeners, tunawashukuru sana, and all the new listeners.
Those comments are made, but
Yeah.
it's on Facebook.
Yes,
Just know we saw them, but time.
you guys, you know, like, you guys make
Please
it more
continue
exciting.
talking. Continue talking.
Yes, you guys make it more exciting. You make it, and you fact check us. That's the best part. We know when we come, we have to look at what we're presenting, because the moment we say something that's slightly outside of the truth, someone will be there ready with the facts. Na kwa hayo machache, yeyote ambaye anataka kunipigia simu, nambari yangu bado ni ile 1-800 mteule. Operator akishika simu, mwambie unataka kusema na mjukuu, na akikuuliza ni mjukuu yupi, kumbushe ni mjukuu yule wa Masai, because I'm Kenyan by blood, American by design, Masai by choice. Sichagui, sikagui na sibagui. Kwaherini.
Aiden, Daddy loves you. Jerry, Daddy loves you. Nemo, Daddy loves you. Until next week, be blessed. DJ Machachari Buddha Boss. Just one song. Kaende.